to the Happy Morning Show live on ETV, live on Happy 98.9 FM. I'm hoping so when you're to Bibia, Boko, Edemon, pay about the video no at Hanum say. You're made in Ghana month, you're celebrating Ghana, our culture, our food, our music, and our history. This month of September, there's more to be giving you, even as you keep your dials locked here on Happy 98.9 FM, Nisim 95.9 and 100.1. Also live on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. See, I knew Nyankopon and Nama because we would have built our homes, we would have built our houses on a solid rock, and we shall have no fear. When the storms are blowing, when the strong winds are coming, we shall have no fear because our houses are not built on the sand where it can easily be swept away by the strong wind or by the storm. And that's the song you've been listening to. And that's what the song is saying, that we have a God whom we can trust. We have a God we can rely on. We have a God who assures us safety at all times. Safety guaranteed. And so you're welcome. And check any ACP retired Victor Tando Ebedim Komo. ACP this weekend, you share MIA Dim Komo and weekend who said no ACP this year Kasian Kasa. Or this year Kasian Kasa. And I pay ACP Makwaba. We are now eating Komo the headlines of the newspapers, no, and so Abre Oman for Ebeji Mme na yet a sports update any trans kakran so Abre Oman for na fini ashasia yedi nkomo and a man dey only by you say editors about kind sa almost soon you know ebedi nkomo enti only entry boom baba nyina no yet to adwene samedi enko na ACP enkodi nkomo. To the Happy Morning Show. And any ACP retired Victor Tando, a bidding commono, the road city tidbits not at their brain. But men can say, SIC 4C and Kara no pay say, it's not all about a year, say, oh, to cry, oh, caught Nwaba safely, hoping that when you're going to but sometimes you need to plan your own future. And planning your own future, you know, a year campus secure insurance policy, no, or more at their brain, or a cover a personal accident, permanent disability, death of a guardian, of a parent, death of a student. And in case of any of these unfortunate incidences happening, Biana, overseas and countries accommodation will be catered for, allowances, tuition, medical expenses, and many more would all be catered for. And you know, Momodi has signing on to a campus secure insurance policy, no, now also no future and guaranteed. Momodi a 60 Ghana cedis, 60 Ghana cedis. Now on your one more ND and come over to me from 0555 441485 0555 441485 and I say Oko Telegram now you share a SIC one sign up on what follow prompt no now also on our work no yani ACP retired Victor Tando ND and come on pay ACP and pay you more kwaba. Hello, good morning ACP. All right, I'm saying any ACP and pay ahomano enya entomo nti yeni nkomo na yemu akwaba na ye ka say then you know obetumi adjoin here now the thought views and comment there by on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram handle no ETV Ghana and I say happy 98.9 FM. Hello, good morning ACP. All right, yen so na afeni yen fa the headlines of the newspapers no embre adofo. And you welcome back. I browse to say the headlines of the newspapers now April Jumedino. So I'm hoping so we can be a so din edemao Imakwaba Ebium Eba a happy morning shows medical culture say a made in Ghana month and you know you didn't come out not you didn't come out for your DNA didn't come out in Tadi, you didn't come out in culture, in music, even in Casa and Ghana month and at your day April our happy morning show so Fatisha Wali, our Manchester, and Raymond Yamato, our Manchester, Edith Medina, Eddie April. Fatih, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Maybe I okay.
Yeah,
Very good morning.
Good morning, Sammy.
Maybe I okay.
Yeah, me adum.
Yo, yen shall say na emfa a daily graphic and bill man for Oshe daily graphic anymore. Commander Sugar Factory revamped. 2 test runs done. Operations begin December. And no Ewo Honum. Abu Jinapo rules mining investors to Ghana. Unaccredited programs in university students will not be affected. Saboba, Chepone, cut off by heavy rains. Tamale, Yendi, other areas inaccessible. And no, our Kratano and Nim Anapay. Other stories. And so, any Kenyan stop court to rule on disputed election today. Mali releases 3 Ivorian soldiers, 46 still detained, and no Ewo Honum. And other stories, and so Ewo Krata anymore. Latif Abubakar thrills fans with 5 hours with Mario, and also so Ewo Honoma. Among for me, I can kind it be thousands of Russians bid farewell to Mikhail Gorbachev, and also so Ewo Honum. Other stories, and so any. Why World Humanitarian Day is necessary. And also, so Ewo Honum Peace Council sensitizes women to violent extremism. And also, so Ewo Honoma and pay amount for Ebenyabi na Omo Akinkai Ebi. Address economic hardship, NDC lawyers urge government. Eugene Ahe will be an excellent MP. President Kufuor assures Ewutu Senior West. Other stories, and so ebi any the earlier story I'm kind of Efasabo Bachupone, which has been cut off by heavy rains. One more add the picture now about it. You see, say indeed, the entire road in there, emu acheminu pain. In at the half, ejina baby na half on so, ejina baby create a very big galley. Honoma, among for ebenya sa story no ebi akinka. Gamanche pledges commitment to unity of Gan State and also so Honum. Cape Coast goes agog with return of Fetu Afashe into way air stories and a pay daily graphic and so at the Abbey.
The Ghanaian publisher Mahama NDC mourn with Julius Debra. Akufo-Addo tout gains in corruption fight. 245 public entities cause budget overrun of 10.5 billion cedis. AG NRECA. Apiati reconstruction contractors arrive on site after months of anticipation. AUCC marks 20 years of academic excellence. And no ewo honum. Saso and other stories are ubenya ewo paper nimo essay. 254,000 COVID-19 money used to buy lab equipment for GIDC. And no ewo honum. Saso and Ghana's unemployment data scary. Senyor Hosi and Ekasa Samui. When you know, stories how benya the Ghanaian publisher.
Now, 254K, no? Auditor General say unaccounted for. Right. About the same GIDC. After say COVID-19 trust fund, almost 10 million Ghana cedis. Almost on this, I sky with equipment.
Yeah.
Was the National Trust Fund working for the COVID-19 Trust Fund or what? And this is the same trust fund as I mean. COVID-19 Trust Fund, Musika, some year procurement, procurement. So, the Chronicle and say missing Elembele Galamsey excavators, DCE Bonzo, BNI couple arrested as police deny custody of seized illegal mining equipment. Elmina Fishing Harbour 91% complete. Bombisco Multimedia Ernest Otunfo Domahene others. Na President commissions more 1D, 1F factories. Nina air stories and obey the Chronicle Ediaba.
It's also a daily statesman and it was a daily statesman and a pair of stories. It be any Ghana's industrial drive. Thriving. President commissions 2 new 1D, 1F factories in the central region. Baumia, government committed to gender parity. Elmina Fishing Harbour nears completion. And our education ministry targets out of school children. And no stories are a month for with me. I can be our daily statesman and a pay.
Today, Kweku Azar wades into 2021 AG's report. The lawsuit, August 30, 2019, lest we forget. Hardship demo hates government in northern region. Unregistered SIM cards to face sanctions from today. And no ewo honum. Saso and a fire guard Abuja Post residents. No missing excavators in our custody. And also ewo honum. Russian oil giant chief dies in fall from hospital window. ɛno ɛwɔ hanom. Angola's opposition calls for fresh polls. 6.4 million Ghanaians are food insecure and poor. Ɛno ɛyɛ GSS ɛna ɛka. Prices of petroleum products go up again. Stop hoarding foreign currencies. Chamber of Commerce ɛna ɛka ɛyɛ stories a over today newspaper ubenya bi akan.
Ghanaian Times and they say re-registration of SIM cards, telcos directed to block defaulters as NCA begins punitive measures from today. Commander Sugar Factory to commence production by end of year. President. Kumasi set to adore Ghana's first electric light rail transport system. DC accuses police over 2 missing excavators, but police refute claim. Irregularities recorded in ongoing WASI, and 42 arrested during a shaman to the world concert. Paper no, there are about 2 CSOs to promote democracy in West Africa. Mali releases 3 Ivorian soldiers, 46 still detained. President in Netherlands for African Adoption Summit. And Germany unveils $65 billion inflation relief plan. Germany unveils $65 billion inflation relief plan. The German government Modia to Kwamwa Senabeya Abatumi Abua.
Munya water, munya electricity.
Okay. Locally baked clay dangerous to the body. Nina sema ewaha eno ayilo hunsem ena empenyo for kasa fahwa chese ebetumi harmful to your body. Ginger effective against nausea, menstrual pain, indigestion and breast cancer. Ginger hunsem ena yesua ena offer paper na obetumi akan feature no. President does not decide what constitutes corruption. President Akufo-Addo and Odisa Aba. Na Pando NDC group, Mahama, NEC should avert skirt and blouse voting. Nina Ayen Sema, Obetumi Akan Ewo, Ghanaian Times more. President inaugurates 2 factories in Central Region. And 150 graduate from University of Ghana Law School. Black Stars will win FIFA World Cup in Qatar. Nina Ayen Sema, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Odia tuja nti we any stories kakra obetumi akan ewo the Ghanaian Times mo anope
And I stories war Kratano and ebi any Dr. Baumia Taos government mentioned friendly policies at African Caribbean Forum in Barbados. Apiati reconstruction, 5 contractors kickstart field works after months of anticipation. Constitution prohibits chiefs from issuing criminal sanctions. One Ghana movement and projects dominate president's 2-day tour of the central region. We stories are unpaid. The final newspaper at the Abraham.
The Inquisitor. Reopening of SHS. Don't starve our students. Prem Park urges government to review how it deals with media. Sasso and a harmless question. Who with close ties with government was recently accosted by United Kingdom security with huge sums of pounds sterling at the Heathrow Airport. And no ewo honum. About 6.4 million Ghanaians simultaneously food insecure and poor. GSS and ECA. Oforiatta doesn't have capacity to solve economic crisis. Adongo. Cocoa Board has no plan on how to clear 12.3 billion cedi debt. Auditor General Ena Eka. WAEC issues warning over cheating syndicate in ongoing 2022 WASI. 125 persons remanded at Nsom prisons with expired warrant. Auditor General's report. Ena Eka. Saso Ena 28 districts set to be affected by Bagra Dam spillage. MMDC's election laws flawed. IDEG Ena Eka. Ashaiman, crime rate reduces drastically due to police operations. We the Inquisitor.
Energy Digest and OPC, Akufo-Addo approves nuclear power production. GNPC boss identifies hiccups in oil sector. Drivers salute NPA over action on fuel adulteration. Streetlights fixing not energy ministry task, says Napo. Report discovers cause of bust locked up funds. Ghana Gas to construct 290 kilometers gas pipeline. Ne nyinaa ɛyɛ nsɛm a wobɛtumi akan ɛwɔ paper no. Na the anchor anɔpɛ say massive bribery scandal tearing NDC apart. Ɛno ɛyɛ big story ɛwɔ ha. Mobɛtumi akan wobɛhu a picture of General Asedu Nketia and other Ashanti Regional Secretary as NDC Ashanti Regional Chairman. Amonyi na mofoni ɛwɔ paper no anɔpɛ. Cash-strapped NHI sponsors football teams, but CEO says it's a smart partnership. Anglo gets new chief and Queen Mother as Togbisri is rendered powerless. Elembele, DC 8 under police investigation over missing excavators. When you know air stories are obetumi akai a war the ankomo anope.
The Meridian and Pay stories and war Katano and any commercial vehicle operators grateful to NPA boss 1D 1F Autu Senior West Gumwa East Gate factories. Bost reacts to Auditor General's report. Elmina Fishing Harbour 91% complete. Baumia touts government's gender-friendly policies in Barbados. And final story, English La Faberima celebrates Homework in grand style. We air stories and pay the Meridian at the Abbey.
Republic Press. Nigerian church donate 11,500 to Ghana's National Cathedral. Mumpa Obipe. Police did not take custody of any excavators as alleged by Elembele DCE. Sack NAPCO boss and close down all offices and secretariat. NDC Eka. No reshuffle Akufo-Addo reiterate. President Defense Finance Minister Adonko boss Aned. And also Ewo Honum. Saso and other stories are Ubenya Ewo Pepa Nemo say MVTI blows 560,000 on curriculum, trainers, but fails to train trainees. And also Ewo Honum. Kroboland tops HIV/AIDS prevalence. Uganda prophet accused of whipping worshippers detained. Why Nigeria's ban on foreign models won't work. And also Ewo Honum. Saso and other stories are Ubenya say Akoti Junction to Senya Road to be constructed in honor of Haruna Iseku, Akufo-Addo Ena Eka, Saso Ena Justine Elom Aku Avle, funeral arrangement Ewo paper no more, Opese Uhua Ubetumi Apebi Akan, date no Thursday 8th September 2022, pre-burial service 7:30 at the Cedar Mountain Chapel, Assemblies of God, East Legon. Saso Ena burial service no 9 a.m. Nti saa information nyinaa wɔ paper no mu a wobɛtumi apɛ bi akan. Kwahu West Municipal Assembly extends community engagement to 8 communities. Equip police to keep pace with emerging crimes. Chief of Staff Ena Eka. Saso Ena education has not dipped under free SHS. Quality education has not dipped under free SHS. President Akufo-Addo Ena Eka. Government is achieving gender parity in society using technology. NAPCO trainees in North Tongue to be employed by SBML. Ablakwa Ena Eka Sasemwe. Economic Times, I say, city begins to recover after free fall. Debt reconstruction unavoidable as liquidity challenges persist, according to research. Eurobonds and Treasury investors jittery over possible haircuts. When na a story sa ubenya the Economy Times mu anope. Foreign and domestic investors in Ghana, in government of Ghana's Eurobond and Treasury bills are jittery over rumors that their principal investment might be given a haircut as they mature.
The informer Anope say free SHS quality intact as statistics demonstrate marked improvement. President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Attacks on judiciary, lawyers chase Mahama. Akufo-Addo, Lords Bagbin, Chairman Sabonso on their elections to CPA International. Ghana's debt situation, adopt dialogue with investors, red intelligence advises authorities, and be patriotic. Chief of Staff urges police women. We air stories and pay informer at the Aba.
The custodian NAM final paper and pay government ramps up industrialization. And Dr. Kokotin receives Georgia State Citizen Award. BOST settles issues in 2021 Auditor General report. Akufo-Addo honors Harun Eseku with road project. And MPP's investment in education unmatched. I see the Koko and Kasa Sementui. Any stories that you me at the Abbey Oman for no page.
Citynewsroom.com and say Elembele DC accuses police of cover-up in missing excavators case. UG Chancellor calls for urgent review of legal education regime. Sanctions for unregistered SIM cards to begin on September 5. Auditor General report. Parliament must be given prosecutorial powers. The Fiamepo and Odessa same way about CSOs must pressure Auditor General to effect surcharge duties. Martin Pebu and Odessa same way about na otuaso ewo citynewsroom.com and up here. Other stories say the Fiamepo slams internal auditors over continued infractions in audit reports. 42 arrested at Stoneboy's Ashaman to the World Concert. Samuel Jinapo's home gutted by fire. Ufoyata does not have capacity to solve economic crisis at Dongo. Ghana COVID-19 Private Sector Fund reacts to Auditor General's report. KNUST invests $1.3 million on studio equipment and 17 million Ghana cedis on multimedia teaching. 28 districts set to be affected by Bagre Dam spillage. When you know air stories are over to me, Akai, citynewsroom.com.
Yet also name call your website www.happyghana.com and fast stories no ebi embe adofo gamanje. Blesses National Fitness Day and no ewo honum. Flutterwave secures switching and processing license, Nigeria's highest payments processing license, and also ewo honum. Unemployment rate rises from 13.4% to 13.9% as nearly 850,000 Ghanaians lose their jobs. And ewo honum. Canada wasn't sacked over small boy comment, anti-corruption campaign be and Ekasa and after finally demonstrations don't fix roads. Deputy Roads Minister Anna Ekasa Sementui and stories I with me at the Abre Omanfo.
Google News.
Okay.
Let's be real to ourselves. Politics is killing Ghana. Dr. Okoboy and Ekasa Asemwe. Saso and other stories are Ubenya Ewo Google News and Opei Essay. Afrexim Bank approves $50 million for Prime Meridian Docks, Ghana. Saso and Richie Kua Bauba, Ghanaian cardinal to undergo heart surgery, and also Ewo Honum. 2021 Auditor General's report, 37 district directors charged to refund 2.1 million cedis unaccounted for, and also Google News anopeya ubenyebi akai.
Na if you are yebekwa kopie ewo international portals no bbc.com and edebebremo anope na stories about bbc.com anope ebi any police hand suspects over deadly Canada stabbings. Germany vows 65 billion euro package to combat energy crisis. Australian artist removes Ukraine-Russia mural. Tributes flow for Indian billionaire who died in car crash. Now, chairman of India's biggest conglomerate, Tata, opinion, a friend of Cyrus Mystery, or no, and when your car crash, just says India, or India, and Sama, now, Mystery as private plane crashes into Baltic Sea. Deadly attack targets Somalia food convoy. 33-day smiling Pope, one step away from sainthood. And Bed Bath and Beyond Finance Chief falls to his death. Ne nyinaa ɛyɛ nsɛm a wobɛtumi akan ɛwɔ bbc.com anɔpɛ yi.
Yo, yɛnto aso ne info stories in free CNN and for manhunt underway after at least 10 killed in Canada stabbings. And also the stabbings, which also left at least 15 people injured, took place across 13 crime scenes, officials say. She moved to the US, met a boyfriend on Craigslist, and vanished. And also man for which can be Chilean voters overwhelmingly reject proposed leftist constitution. Trump rally highlighting January 6th case of alleged Nazi sympathizer sparks criticism. And also Britons to learn who will succeed Boris Johnson as the country faces looming crisis. And also U.S. internet firm blocks controversial online forum citing imminent threats to human life. And UN inspector calls his team's presence at Zaporizhzhia plant a game changer. And finally, this disturbing trend has become staggeringly common in Putin's wartime Russia. We stories are on for bit making can be your website. CNN and pay.
Reuters News. 2 people die after 7-story building under construction collapses in Nigeria's commercial capital, Lagos. 3 women among 49 Ivorian soldiers detained in Mali released. Sasso and Kenya Supreme Court will decide on Monday whether to uphold or nullify the results of last month's presidential elections. Sasso and gunmen killed more than 40 people in Ethiopia's Oromia region. And also a story a Reuters News anope ubetumi enye bi akan.
Yɛnto also na yɛmfa weather update mbrɛ ɔmanfo anɔpɛ ɛwɔ dwumadi no ɛso sɛnea yɛnyina anim no anɔpɛ biara no yɛkɔgye weather update free Ghana Meteo ɛfoɔ hɔnom na anɔpɛ yi update a wɔn ɛde abrɛ no ɛno ɛnie ɛna yɛde ɛma wɔn no wɔn ɛsi yɛn kankyɛ Ghanafoɔ nyinaa 32 minutes ago sɛ cloudiness with intermittent rain or drizzle will dominate over most parts of the country this morning. There's a possibility of thunderstorms over parts of northern and transition areas in the afternoon. Until we any weather update, me at the Abre Omanfo.
If you want to call COVID-19 updates, afa Abremo if you Ghana Health Service for Hono. Total cases Ghana ha 169,000. Deaths 1,459. Worldwide total cases 604,373,000. Deaths 6.49,973. If you want to call straight to social media na yakofa ensema ekoso anase air trendy honum abre etifo eni ahwefo. SIM card re-registration no ehwasem aba abetoja na asem aba ene say National Communications Authority NCA ena omo ede ensem bia betuja efa mo a muntumi register ye no asotwe wo ho emamo na actions no ayeba beteki against omo register omo SIM card no enu ni ongoing SIM card re-registration exercise no ebe end 30th September 2022 na amanfo a omo entumi register ewo by 30th September no mo ho asotwe ene ameba beka kiremu. NCASA as part of punitive measures omo ba abaye rerouting of all outgoing calls to IVR for a message to be played before all calls go through every day. Also, omo ebema outgoing calls, any data services for a sequential batch of numbers will be blocked for 48 hours and I said 2 days once a week on rotational basis. I quote, mobile network operators shall divide the unregistered SIMs into 5 batches for the purposes of implementing this punitive measure. These measures shall exclude blocking of SMS to give defaulting subscribers the opportunity to initiate registration if they so wish. Subscribers who fully register their SIM card within the period they have been blocked will only be unblocked by the MNOs after the 48 hours to avoid the MNOs tampering with their systems intermittently. The NCA and I can't say way unquote NCA and I this same way ebeto jano. Nti na ne kra ne say won register our SIM card na ade a efi na ekwe omo ba be sha ase say 2 days bi no mo yi efi a mframem wuntimi nya calls na emom no wobetimi aye text message wo ye text message na ye the text message no ho kwan ma se na be ya obe use e dey register nti enya se omo ma ho kwan na dey send the text dey waka so ma nya calls kra me send the text nti no 48 hours 2 days in a week bia no wo call wo ye call enye ye obi su fro wa emma saa e na omo eka nti no to anamon nako eko register o SIM card no nyame adun sesi ano queue bia eni ho nti ko nako register so wo pese wo keep wo number ne nko ade a information beto oja no comment e ba no eni Frank say I would rather save data and airtime consumption for the stubborn academy students. Michael say when leadership falls in wrong hands, there is no doubt the SIM registration is good, but if the Ghana card becomes the only means to register, then you end up rendering the passport and other cards useless. I wish the same measures they are using to punish and register SIM cards, same measures will be used by citizens to demand jobs, roads, increments in salaries and allowances. General says some people haven't registered their SIM because they don't have their Ghana card yet. Others have made many attempts, taking car in and out severally to get the card, but it doesn't yield any result. The system has failed these people and their SIMs will be blocked. What if there is an emergency that they need to make a call? Akwada say Ghana on a fixing track, a serious nation in the making. Ezekiel say please reopen the centers for mass registration for us to register for the Ghana card. We are pleading. Yeriera cola for private sector workers, so air trending. Now, the executive director, Institute for Energy Policy and Research, Mr. Kojopoku, is making a case of payment for cost of living allowance to the private sector workers by their employers, following the payment of the 15% COLA to public sector workers by government. Now, the comment, comes on the heels of the payment of 485 million cedis as COLA to public sector workers by the Controller General and Accountants Department on Monday, 29th August. Now, Controller Eka said, in pursuant to the approval given by the Ministry of Finance on 1st August 2022, following the agreement signed between government and organized labor on 4th July 2022, the Controller and Accountant General's Department has paid the cost of living allowance to workers in public service. And no, ena ebeto jano, Mr. Kojopoku comment to say, Ghanaians are employed by government or private companies. So therefore, the increase in commodity, food, utility fuel prices has brought hardships to households across the country. Recently, the media space is awash with the hardships in Nyoma into the all kind say private sector. Also, almost mutumeshe now workers scholar. Workers scholar because you see I know and 1 liter a 62. Aye, and tisa and all can. Now I'll say 10% crana and say and all can or they private employers say omushe employees na omunka yasa na public sector workers no kwa enjoy. Meanwhile in ya ikojaswa prices no the same. Comment abano eni Atase, you are not serious. Their employers should do same for them. Bawa say they can demand it from their employers too. Franklin say the negotiation was about public sector workers, not private workers. So you have to negotiate with your employer. Nicola say he is right. This cola is to cushion the high inflation. Don't forget workers from the private and public sectors buy from the same market. This idea doesn't favor the unemployed and private sector workers. If you want to know, I tell you what, hundreds of thousands ɛna ɔmotumi ɛte si dwam Saturday yi a na ɔmode final phase of the annual Homowo festival Paashimu, I hope sɛ maka ne yie, of the people of Teshi ɛbɛ ɛhyehyɛ so. Now the festival is marked to celebrate the people's victory over famine ɛyɛ Homowo no. Na amanfo bebree ɛna ɛyɛ a ɔmo etumi ɛhwɛ saa dwumadie. Now the near month long festival no Emma nkranfoɔ a ɔmo fi the various nkran krokro no ɔmo tumi ɛba ɛbɛhyia mu ɛtwi bom ɛkae ɔmo nananom na ɔmo ani agye yie ehuti at anger. Na Teshi Homowo no ɛno na ɛyɛ a ɛyɛ the final festival in the entire Garland. Na prior to the ultimate Sesebumo cleansing no signals the end of the day. Na ma celebrants no omo ahye omo ntare kama na afei no ebi mu ehye nurses ntare, doctors ntare, soldiers, fishermen, hunters, sportsmen, warriors, farmers, newlyweds. Chese dressings ne de anya asem ketwa na afei omo de esi krom na omo agye omo ni. Video no na etwegu ewo wo TV ne so no wo hwe ye ewo Facebook sa wo behu na Happy FM GMABC yesu ye ginemu den wo ETV wo ho wo Happy FM wo honom anya asem ketewa na ye ginemu a ye ne omo etwibom this year Homowo de na anya asem ketewa na mo de mo ntwen next year de no mo behu say yes ye ginemu a na nye ginemu ketewa na ye ginemu no enti eye de pa na ya uphold culture no ahwede no kra na amanfo ebuwe no kra na eye mefe wutu mirika onante wadress wo yese na wo keka wahwede ko nanse ahwede no kra wunya de eyi ne wo ho a wo de wo se ebe rere no enti no ewo festival ya se ne yetumi eye bia ede nka bom unity ebe Gas state anase enkranfo mu ene last one ye ewo Teshi no ede etuatua so ewo honom Teshi wono kra me anga se ho na me free sanka me yenkrani a ai entisa ena etie colorful, very very colorful and amanfo eni age yie pa.
But I say for update our day, and I must say, GMABC this year, about home one day, the boy go to game one. Following from the start to the end, they update everyone for the culture of the people, their music, their dance, and then everyone for fully represented. Now, senior party next year, na yɛde senior esiko this year yɛyɛ better na yɛde ama ɔmanfo nti nyina no yɛmfa yɛni ndi akyire Homowo has been good and I believe so nyankopɔn adom after everything the land will be fertile and the land will be able to bear fruit as businesses are yɛwɔ ma we say mu as inhabitant yɛdwuma yɛbibia yɛbɛkɔ from wabra mpanyimfoɔ ɛyi apaeɛ yɛde ama yɛnyina nti yɛbɛda ɔmanfo ase sɛ nyinaa no yɛde yɛn ho ɛkɔgye mu wabra na yɛ celebrate ɛyɛ Homowo no yɛntoa so na yɛndi nkɔmmɔ a Fati, who loses when you disconnect my data or my voice connection?
Service provider and the SIM card owner.
So if the communications ministry ABR, as much as I don't support people who by now have not registered.
So I mean, you don't support them saying if the person doesn't have Ghana card, only they're not registered.
Well,
I know that
but
there are
many
people
who have not made the effort
decided not to
go and register.
But then again, there are also people like Omunya and Combe register, but Omu need the means no registration.
Anyway, before I ever to us on so my any new content new command on recapture some of the scenes and the experience that we throughout the Homowo period. Good morning.
Good morning, Sammy.
Na
I
ebu
want
sɛ
to.
nyame adom me ho yɛ nanso ɛ
You are doing okay.
yɛda wade ase ne capture some of the beautiful moments we experienced during the coverage of the Homo festivities no.
Sammy, what say the Omaha Festival? No, she say yes, I see from almost all the communities. Yes, I say or Gamashi. Yes, I say or Nungwa. Yadi ba Gamashi. Yako La. Yako Usu. And I be ye ewo Feshi. This weekend. No. Na Oshe most at times now. Festivals in Bibibin are more specifically. It is characterized by violence, but I must say that this year's celebration, on all aspects, from all the seven communities in Osha, they celebrated it without violence. It was on point. Usher the crowd. Sometimes the beauty of the traditional leaders are who display rich culture. No? Must say that's something commendable. Share the Ekoye Wateshi, that was on Saturday. Now, I have not, I've watched most of them on Facebook and pictures, but what we saw on the Saturday, no, there, I must say, uh, words can't describe it because who the crowd that trooping, who the communities, the clans that they come together are yeah, they are normal panshimo pitano share what they now call it sugarcane possession now. We shall not free la Omoba Abatesh, if you see the crowd, the celebration, the singing, but something one thing that happened, we share most at times now during the celebration now, they don't use PA system, natural, almost singing around the Teshi community now. But this time around, I say, yeah, yeah, happy if any possession, do your stand now, they move. Sisi na ɔmo si ano de abɛgyina yɛ stand no na ɔmo akyante for 10, 5, 15 minutes na ɔmo akɔ nti wohwɛ the celebration this year ankasa happy fm ni etv ghana yɛ join ne ɔmo no ama celebration akɔ enim paa ma amanfoɔ atumi enjoy hwɛ some of the comments that are coming people are commenting us even enumere no koraa yɛwie koraa na yɛ sɛ yɛba bɛpaaki yɛ nneɛma kɔ yɛbɛkɔ ɛna kwanhyɛmɔfoɔ no baeɛ a wɔde the station the brand no ayɛ nnwuma a wɔreto nnwuma but one main thing na ɛkɔ so during this festival no sɛ it's used to speak wrongdoing ɛna good doing nti woyɛ leader woyɛ ɔhene koraa wɔ town no na woyɛ mistake a during this kwanhyɛmɔ no a ɛyɛ jama possession na they will use you as a song or may use you in front of you, they will say what you've done wrong and what you've done correct. You have no right to question them. To something with PA Saturday, what happened then there, it's beyond words description.
Yo, ni medo say for these updates, but some few takeaways are you as an individual this time around experiencing this for yourself. A few takeaways are what the issue to do.
One, I've realized that the Ghana tradition, the Ghana has a rich culture. Yeah, but together now we can lift it up. You tell the world that one, we also have a rich culture. Two, the togetherness. Like I said before the time I started conversation, is most of the celebration maybe Benin is characterized by chaos. Doing this clan, this crashing on Mukna, but this time it was devoid of it, and I think togetherness about abedi. But now when you have good leadership, when you have good leaders, are more vision and they have something for the state now it's something also good because I've realized that this time around the chiefs, and the king, they've come together to 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 sort of say have focus and what they want to achieve with their celebration and the culture in the region as a whole. Institution Nana, they have vision, unity, and togetherness. It's one of the three main things take away Amafa from this whole celebration now, it's ended on Saturday.
Interesting. Me, you better say for update or the abre efa eye homo no. Say oh be before e be apese ye rapi or the emo manfo akwenya e won, especially when it comes to sponsorship yenya for this project.
Now, Sami Oshe, one of our main broadcast partners, AD Plus, a better one super. In fact, yesterday morning, one of the chiefs, Teshi Manche, Umpen Babylon, he called me in the morning and was like, or to say, na yet to check the code, they said, the mana, or your India or Sha, on to me, sorry, bank, or sorry, have a DB, which means the Happy FM broadcast partners, they did something, I want living mark in the heart of the Ghana people, wherever that we want. So we thank them very much for the support that they gave us. And next year, we promise it's going to be bigger and better. So whoever is out there and want to come on board, they can do so, because this time around, the how we showcase and we broadcast the thing now, it's beyond their imagination. So thanks to AD Plus for all the support that they give us.
Oh, ni yes, you better say for updates and a good job you did covering the homo. I can see how you're busy all around to ensure CBBR ever co-editing in new content, and I'll do some updates what they ever if a homo. You so much na you did and what and some ever a month for our happy from any ETV Ghana and they affiliate in Yano. You will be also a crab about Jumedian. So back to the SIM card issue. And I pay yedi and kuma ye catch say you be you free home 48 hours about the data and a voice caller. One more ever rotating. I don't know how it's gonna work. But I think that like I was saying earlier, for those who genuinely because of the lack of a Ghana card now have to be registered. And you want some in America. We can one more mutimu percent. One more Ghana card, but I won't go and register no. More some any can. You can't tell question so one some saying. If the Ministry of Communications decides that for 2 days or more a year month for Eddie film from memoir, what are the implications for these telcos? You say I don't know the number of people are one more any one more SIM card on my register. But you say be 1 million people across the country. It means that for that 2 days now you're film from the telcos are going to lose a lot. Data, voice calls. A lot. Is the ministry ready for the consequences of their actions on these telcos? Young Kai say, Eteltigo, Sisi Abai, and the Kuranim. Vodafone, Sisi normal emergency on Besomu free or mine anymore. But for the decision of the NCA, and on what I saw or mine anymore. MTN, minim or margin. So, young say in decisions, glow, Omukwade, a yana a if you want. Young say in decisions, and could have a tool on these networks. Government now kasa ne nsa ewo mu Eteltigo any Vodafone. Yenhwe say enkonya a negative impact bia ewo mo so. Nyamiadum, we have been told the application has been rolled out, and since yesterday they've been sending text messages to virtually all of us. Obetimi I register using a YESA application when we launching. And you can capture your own biometric information. You can send it to them. Please let's all take advantage of this. Now you register and sana the end of September no akwakudru na afi no akwaya insent for crown. Let's not force the ministry to also act in this manner. Since there one more genuinely one money Ghana card na nyama sem na make one more bomber adwemu person mu dem stubborn academy one more register no. Let's make it easy. Okwa on na some more database. Okwa na some more information. It took these gestures, these actions, and amanone and okwa. Womo ewo fidie bibia kama. Womo edibo womo akọ no ani agye na ye ofe no. Enti kakra betimi aka ene.
Confirm kwa mo na ne mo kota sim card obi am ka jem say omo form service machine.
Oh, but it may not be a SIM card. May can't the collection of data. It doesn't take a day. It takes some period.
So why is it that it is taking a period for people to register for the card. No money, I also will you moving from.
Well, legitimate concern.
Sammy,
Yes.
what is the main aim of the SIM card registration?
Well, they said they were going to try and control spammers and scammers. Yeah. One more, you know.
I know, sir, it's a bit late in the day, but SIM card no year kwakoto no, omo register.
They did.
It is our data na ewe.
Well.
Inti ade na omo fa na omo fa nko ma
But
chi.
you agree with me, say it got to a point, even the sellers of these SIM cards were selling pre-registered SIM cards.
Why, whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? How were they registering? How were they registering? If we need nipa baako now I register 1,000 SIM cards, 100 SIM cards, the telcos cannot detect that.
So I mean, no auto SIM card or register. Auto SIM card or register.
Me for some time now.
Ama na sekra uko apply visa mpoa. Uko submit your document SIM card say G. Fako. Udru ana udayeko.
What activity?
Yes. Automatic. This is a system, so I mean. Omu ma obia pressure so ombra no be register. But obviously SIM card no. Auto. Obeto credit in name so. There are some services that you be able to use card in name e dey here. So I mean, did you know ways omo do hu say SIM card we asimesi dia, enya asimesi dia. And among some way omo dey track SIM card in name. So I mean, Argentina, we haven't even thought of going that route. So be a copy our registration centers. I mean, no problem, no. That is the concern for a lot of people. They are going to queue in registration centers with cards, omunibi. Ghana card is the same. I mean, pressure don't go down. The pressure hasn't gone down. And this week, with all this way I ban, we'll be blocking SIM cards in India. So I mean, let's just go around the registration centers and see what's happening there. For a card, now can catch say instant, any instant. You know, can have problems with so I mean, for me, this SIM card re-registration, whatever purpose we want it to serve, no, whether it is reducing fraud or whatever. So I mean, we are registering SIM cards, but we are still getting those messages. They are still calling us to tell us that they've sent us money and transfer money. So I mean, it goes so cost. The real reasons for SIM card re-registration, no, only on more the buyer would know. So I mean, man, we see.
Well, Umar, I agree with you. And we would not have been here. And these are some of the arguments that we advanced earlier at the early stages of the SIM card registrations. And I said, I remember I heard the communications minister on one of the networks, making the case that she doesn't understand why there is a duplication of the same information. Other state agencies will be a try so by NDA, knowing say the NIA has data. Say idea you use NIA for database now. And you need maybe a general you design come we say. The reason why we are here is because the telcos are collecting new set of biometric information.
Okay.
That's why we are here. Say idea you use NIA for database now, it would not have been a problem. It would not have been a difficulty. But here is the case. You now want me to come and capture my data. Meanwhile, that data you are seeking to capture is on the card I'm holding. That information is on the card I am holding. I don't know, so recently, what me call this time it's a good SIM card. No? When they put the phone, the software they have done, when they put it on your Ghana card, they are able to get the information from your Ghana card, no? Using what's the name of there's a service a data transmission at I've forgotten the name of it. Maybe my phone here, the name of that thing. Oh no, it's not. Oh, what's the name? I've forgotten. But I'll find it. It will come. And to be Fati, could we not have developed an application with the tools were part? Now this information now to a NIA for no. Now on our chrono.
So I mean, now the
As simple as that.
The challenge is not with why the telcos are kind of redoing everything. No. The challenge is that the way no more GDI registration. No. Yeah, nibi. That is the challenge. We don't have. Until we don't have, that is the only way you can register. Until as to whether you have the card and the telcos will just go to NCA and get it, or NIA and get it, or whatever. No, it doesn't even come in now because you will still need that card. That card, is what we don't have. So unless you're asking the question of if telcos need him so mobile data for as it seems they are doing now, then why do we need the Ghana card? But if you do need the Ghana card for them to recapture your data there, then you need it. That is like me who said that me put like that is number one before you go to number two. Until if you don't have number one, how do you go to number two? And that has been the challenge of many. First, there was the issue of amount for any time, there was queue, now, no, I think we've gone past that. We've gone past that. Because when we register, and I was the only person there, honestly. I was the only person there.
The technology that I was trying to recollect, NFC. Okay. NFC. Or they touch it at the end, and no. Not after information be at the free so. But you see, Fatty, the argument would also be made since you say Ghana for should be a Ghana for should be a last August, our deadline is soon, See the number of people who went to the various registration centers to go and register. Ubia at the baby affording the arms. Well trained. A lot, Fatty, a lot of people are just not taking the exercise serious.
I mean, you yourself also sat here and said that you think it's getting to the end of it now. I'm for about dumping because at that time, it is the end. Into no will be some kind of officer. Your bosses should understand. Said like this is the last lap. 1 year, you lose your sim. Until the people had to find ways and means on between their registration.
Yes, I believe I made that point. But Fatty, if really you want to register your SIM card or you want to do the registration, you can. You can. After all, you call lunch break and I call lunch break. You call. You to me seek permission. And the other movements what town at the back. It is all person we register. All person we unya card now. You can get it. So for me, Sashuban is yenjai. Sashuban the BBI must be last minute. Everything must be last minute. Besides, the NIA tells us that they've been able to register some 16 million Ghanaians. And initially, they told us they had been able to achieve their goal. As much as a continuous registration, Egusua Elkoso for one more intimate card. So, I mean, in terms of sizable number of people having their cards to warrant a year, the issuance of these cards, is there. Last time they gave us the data, our website is there. The number of people who cards, and so I read your monkoji, But I know, and yes, I'm Ketua. NIA for Korea, we are where we are because of you. The kind of buhaha buy, or buy more catches on here, scout, but requires our exercise. We see near the more, and all they told us, and they say, oh, it's going to be an instant card. Ukoya, papa, near pencil card the amount, papa, near pencil card at the amount. It could be a year. Yes, we are setting up collection centers. Obit me 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. People haven't gotten their cards.
Voter registration. Easy. Omo holding go for cards. Asimeti, Mombrambe collecting cards.
No.
Sana easy omuniama. So instant card.
Yes.
So I mean, part of the reason why we paid so much for Ghana card, the instant elemental card, Today, Ghana card is instant. Okay, but say you test Canada, nobody is asking questions.
Wait, hold it 1 second now. Mr. Ose Kwame Griffiths in the Nkumo. Ono and a former NIA for Omo Epening. Nkuma yedi die nyina no ebi ebo ne kotu yem. Opani yema kwaba.
So menua.
Na impombo ko de.
Okopa.
Steps are NCA, one more actually opinion, a Ministry of Communication. A take say they will take Ghanaians off 48 hours when your data, when your the opportunity to make voice calls. Now, as I said, do have back. Or to signal say at the end of the month, you be free in from a What's your reaction to these steps?
First of all, no, me no say throughout my life in public service, no, I haven't seen such a blatant abuse of power. If he say, as if him say to me, you know, I wondering say to me be a wɔn nsam, enti no ɔno mu tumi yɛ deɛ wɔpɛ. Now let me refer you to LI 2111. LI 2111. Which is a MRA one mujina so, because that is where it talks about the mandatory use of the national ID card. I don't have it here before me, but pretty much various sections of the law, no, I'm very familiar with it. You can Google it, LI 2111. You know, you can find it on the internet. It states very clearly, if you go to Revelation 7, Okase, the national ID card issued to the citizen shall be used. You see, there's a reason why, because I was one of the people who drafted that LI. There's a reason why the language was made so. Issued to the individual, because at that time, no na Ghana for Ghana ha, through no fault of theirs, woman need national ID card. I still believe there are a lot of Ghanaians in this country. One mum yam from Swabia. And yes, our castle, no mum card, no mamma. But woman need national ID card. And a national ID card is the sole document you need. I obey media register or send card per LI 2111. And don't forget, sir, the national ID institution themselves. Tama say, this same contract, we are going to sign it for 150 million euros. Everything had been done. PPA had approved. Your friends say NIA board had approved and everything. And Jafufi Antoa at my banfu from high. And so why are you the same scope no or issue no or sign contract for $1.2 billion? What they told us Ghanaians is that one, the card was going to be issued from 0 to infinity. As I speak to you now, it is 50 years and above, just like the old scope. Number two, they also indicated that they were going to give the cars to people instantly. And only the selling points are a man, a card no more a call, $1.2 billion. National ID system from 150 million euros. Now it turns out that the instant issuance did not work. And you're Ghana, you know, call one for the card, I'm a young phone so about one for card, per NIS own statistics, one more say, one more etimi actual nipa 1 point. This was just about 3 weeks ago or so 1 month ago. Nipa 17.2 million a day. And I think 17 point something ding. And about 15.5, yeah, 17.2 and 15.5. And one more timid card either. I show one sem. Which means even if these are the only people, but don't forget, people also went there. Went to be crying through because of network issues. What the answer is, some profile center, it gives it leaves a gap of 1.5 million Ghanaians. One no, one young from Swabia, one more buy some throw the one card. Monum some catcher one say, mobile will be your card instantly or buy. The son can a card. And you know, how do you then? And Rabban a mouse had to me no. So no LI 2111 now rely on see the national ID card issued to the individual. Won't issue to the individual no. Ultimately, I found who Jesus said want to mean fire in my fide and Cassanche will be any eduba. If you cry now or no aduma what ya would be no telephone we didn't work with it. We say now what we muno major won't find who dear for a name. So I want to make him not just say, who you be? What's the same Russia with someone would hear the opera or mine? Many are making what you say. So I think that it is a serious abuse of power.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Since you've been privy to certain information, I would not have access to. Why haven't people like you taken matters into your hands in terms of the abuse of the fundamental rights of Ghanaians?
Well, quite a call. I'm say what to say. My say, a man who could be I can't say, be said. Say, cry, Sabia, to a bar, none it is over court. Then so you're to a bar. Now say, Uncle, young for court to some woman. What is our pronouncement?
Yes.
And you have heard current commentary on people, not just by Nancy and now, my penny dada, Edinanutum, but he was only echoing the sentiments that is out there. Confidence, the erosion of confidence in the is massive, say. Okoye sisi ya banya de bi opeso ye bia no. Okoye ani asese ni bia betina ho aba be dredri asem. You know, sometimes you tend to even go to court and it creates a perception that there is some legal basis for what you are doing when actually there is not. So I'm going to but it is something that is worth looking at.
But are you telling me that you don't believe that when you go to the court, you'd find justice in the court?
I am not telling you that I or Sir Kwame Griffiths don't believe that. I am saying that my Ghanaians, the perception of Ghanaians now is that and yet what's a bit me sometimes them go ye mouth.
But you agree with me it's a perception and a reality.
Oh, Minya. So there are examples of how things have gone in the recent past. Several of them point to the fact that say what's them to say and but like you said, say a court court to pronounce it says no one much precedence at all. So I think it is in the interest of Ghanaians to be the court. Me, if I have to go to court, lawyer if I have to go to court, perhaps what I would require to do is to go to probably the Supreme Court. You only make because I will be going on the fact the same and it is against the Constitution. What is so bad to me? I court to say me NIA card means sankai, and it's not like it is easy to get it. Only make they are really looking for it in some sankai. So, the person who has suffered some injury as a result of this, probably is in a more is positioned better, say or no court. So anyway, but to be honest with you, it is worth looking at. Many more ekase na sa de kakra. My friend lawyer ni bi ni na di hu nkomo.
It's very interesting, Mr. Griffiths. It will take only some conversation we are not pay. We know having to trigger your decision to test or to have a conversation with your lawyer, say whether this is worth going to the court, because your position now, and so and no fire a family and the family and a 2 million and no more shoot or more abuse to me. I would have thought that this would have been obvious.
It is not that obvious because an opina producer a briefing me on the latest friend say directive say one more be so on me no one in fact one me kasa no my handle phone no cry. I asked him a lot of questions. So, okay, Matisse say. And you see, I have already had some discussions as to the almost at the end of the month. This will happen. And when I spoke to a lawyer, the lawyer said, your rights have not accrued. That is what he said. A lawyer for Brofo. And what I said, I didn't know almost what by your nominee day. One woman I'm fine here, they make out as here. Good. Intino. And Opaya, our friend, me say, we have all been, I've been in Ashanti region. We are doing a lot of, exercises in Ashanti region. I came back only yesterday for him to call me this morning. And then I asked for more briefing.
Okay.
So, whatever I'm telling you, is more or less extempore. It's not prepared.
All right, that's
because fine. Because NIA matters basically, from technical to legal and what have you. So even after we left power, I've written several articles on this matter.
All right.
Time price in a buy any other.
All right. Mr. Griffith, yeah, the best you say, but do as a soldier man and a
okay, Mr. Medasi.
Yo, you better say only a deal command of pay. You better know na the sports update
for the avoidance of doubt, this particular SIM card re-registration, I got caught, and the case was thrown out. Human Rights Division of the High Court in Accra, presided over by Barbara Tete Chawe, dismissed the case challenging the legality of the ongoing SIM card re-registration. Into Ghanaian, our friend Francis Quatin Atta was praying inter alia for an order to stop the ongoing SIM registration exercise. The court held that the SIM registration directive by the NCA was unlawful and was lawful and in the interest of the public, and none of the actions of the NCA violated any law. It is, I mean,
no,
this is.
That one was on the collection of a new set of biometric information. But what we are talking about now has to do with, say, when we to me say, when we say, month we swan, ya jo SIM card a few in some. For 2 days, ya je o kasa, you kasa boy, o kasa boy, ya je.
I mean,
be it voice or data. There are two different.
No, if the court is telling you what they are doing is lawful and within the stipulated law, if they come back to tell you say 1 year there, so yeah, on your card for sema, again it is within the law.
Well, for me, I would wish say we be so better test and one me afe. Say one more to me, say one back actually say one more edge. Your voice and your data and your free and same for 2 days. But tell you no, and a baby. You are you're not home. Welcome back to the Happy Morning Show. Every as you say, the sports updating your day, every war. We want you to ayakado this sports in the brain. And I pay over to you.
Happy 98.9 FM and I was go so out here. Share so there ETV Ghana and I will share what you made at the Happy Morning Show. Send the sports update. Ebebremo. 1xbet a time it didn't media updates near Bremo. 1xbet a common website so 1xbet.com.gh. 1xbet.com.gh. Register and be a new account. Register now be a new account. Obama opportunity to enter a promo code. Promo code will be enter a best Ghana BEST Ghana. Enter a promo code new year pair. Obama 200% bonus on your first deposit. 1xbet to make so over the weekend no. Some 4,500 Ghanaians and I'm making sure say Sika Besho Mataso across various sporting disciplines. I'm betting on instant payout and a BPMO my account. Also bet me joining 1xbet family no. Now I become winning team no. I know the message 1xbet team from 1xbet team the 18. Member we need enter on my website to so coach bet. Betting is addictive and to bet responsibly. Especially some now here. Never shall see from Yamoussoukro and over the weekend no. Wafu Zone B, CAF Women's Champions League qualifiers now and to me by over the weekend. Ghana's representatives Ampim Dakwa Ladies FC. Final match on mobile against Bielsa Queens no. They are omudincho ewa akensie nom 3-0 and Bayelsa Queens atwa mo a enya de a motumi win this game na ebema mo opportunity to qualify for the CAF Women's Champions League because of Morocco ending of October into November no enya de Ghana ebenya representative ho we any sad news every Ivory Coast eba na every hodia na yebere mu Nigeria mo should Abiola Stadium and Abuja over the weekend no Black Galaxies and the Super Eagles B team share na after 90 minutes of pulsating football no 2-0 and Super Eagles on B team no etumi etwa Ghana making the tie end 2-2 on aggregate we amampanyim for decide say we the extra time bia embem na penalty shootout and ebe boss and ebe a ebe hu team a obe progress to the African Nations Championship a chan no for 2023 na after 5 spot kicks each no Ghana etumi achieve Nigeria so 5-4 to ensure say Ghana qualify for Chan 2023 because of Algeria we ene sem kakra every ho eba na Friday na empenyufo omuda Ghana footballer no Ghana Football Association omutumi launch Ghana Premier League season for 2022-2023 na o share senanyama economy Bet Power Premier League and I be share nim say betumi akoso this year na empenyufo editor just say this year the winner of the Ghana Premier League no Obama 300,000 Ghana cedis. Second place team no beji 200,000 cedis and a third place team no beji 80,000 Ghana cedis. Ghana Premier League no besha on the 9th of September 2022 in summer ekoso ewo local scene no. Now over the weekend and David Trezeguet, former French international also a World Cup winner on a World Cup no EBPM ewo Ghana Coca-Cola World Cup trophy tour no we share no EBPM ewo tarmac no so Kotoka International Airport on Saturday. Now she say na nyama ekọ ene dia na omo press conference right after the press conference no omo make sure say President of the Republic, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo nesa etume eka trophy no President can send bebre na President edikan eka say o hwe say na dwumedie no ekọ ne dia no ankasa o hwe nim say Ghana betume akọ perform ewo tournament we to make Ghana proud and make Africa also proud. Na yekopiemu ewo press conference na say obra trophy no ebedru Ghana ha Minister for Youth and Sports Mustafa Yusuf to just say Ghana a powerhouse ewo African football mo na ono ankasa o hwe nim say inshallah Ghana betume achi World Cup no backroom ha say trophy na backroom ha ama omo de omo nsa asom de but omo wo hope say trophy no Ghana de beba back biom yentie the Minister for Youth and Sports the Odituja our press conference na say
as a football powerhouse of Africa, Ghana is hopeful and believing that inshallah come November, December, we'll be bringing the trophy back here to Ghana as the champions of the football family. We are very hopeful and we have a plan. The key stakeholders of the sports industry, we've put our plans together and we have the belief that inshallah in December, the stars will shine in Qatar. Thank you so much.
Chief Sports Minister Yenremo Ewa Manone Yakupiemo Manone dia English Premier League action also over the weekend. Na Oshese na Jumedi na ko dia. Na say and results ni bi Yakupiemo Manchester United eche Arsenal echa by 3-1. Arsenal man beating record no ya dia Manchester United eche omo eka chomo say full stop aha na mbeje na 3-1 and United to me a show my branch friend Anthony 82 million pound signing a branch no and open score no Emma Manchester United and sana a branch friend Marcus Rashford at the 2 goals a piece. Saka as a consolation goal Emma Arsenal in the game. Manchester City were held 1-1 by Aston Villa at Villa Park over the weekend. Liverpool drew 0-0 Merseyside derby also Goodison Park over the weekend. We a third draw Liverpool enya in the English Premier League. Chelsea so they had to fight back from a goal down to beat West Ham by 2-1. Then Jumedia also over the weekend. Now Oshesena League table no etia in the English Premier League. Arsenal more 15 points. Manchester City at the second or more 14 points. Tottenham Hotspur Omoda third, almost 14 points. Brighton and Hove Albion, after beating Leicester City by 5-2, almost almost fourth spot. Manchester United were fifth, almost 12 points. It's 6 games and about so far in the English Premier League. Arsenal still almost the topper. 1 point separate almost any Manchester City in Tottenham Hotspur. We and in some kakra free who by Copiamo or Spain there. Real Madrid and Barcelona won their respective games over the weekend. Germany, Bayern Munich were held by Union Berlin 1-1, and Bayern Munich almost to me a boy over the weekend. Copiamo Italy there and a matches matches be na of course Derby della Madonnina of course there was Derby Delight for AC Milan as to beat Inter Milan by 3-2. Napoli actually Lazio China by 2-1, and Bobo Kwafen Fiorentina held Juventus to a 1-1 draw. Jose Mourinho team IFN AS Roma and now Udinese Chamo by 4-0. Sa and Anyama of course over the weekend across the top flight leagues in Europe. Yanko Piemo Flashing Meadows Corona Park, Queens, New York, and a US Open over the weekend. No, Serena Williams failed to make it to the quarterfinals after she was kicked out of the competition by Ajla Tomjanovic in a 3-set battle, 7-5, 6-7, 6-1. And Serena Edibia Kensi and Siani dear, Serena said that BBS was supporting during the career. No, Serena says, Emraso said she would call time on her career. And she's the Siani dear Serena Williams after the exit, no, and Yadia Obebo tennis boom. We and some kakra free in camper Coco Golf on also with Remo our next stage of the competition. Ajla Tomjanovic with Remo our quarterfinals of the competition. Caroline Garcia on also a French nearby and also with Remo our quarterfinals now. And round of 16 matches no be na Ebekoswa ya the update ebe for Nyame Adoma Ochena. Kopiemo el Bema na femnetia na see and Anyama Elko a branch a friend Nick Kyrgios or to me a branch friend Daniel Medvedev or a world number 1 a channel 3-1 to ensure say we bookie quarter-final berth. Karen Kachanov on also a Kareno Buster a channel 3-2 to make sure say on also we Remo our next stage of the competition. For Kina Davidovic on also at now Matteo Berrettini a channel 3-2 to make sure say also we Remo our next stage of the competition. Casper Ruud and also Ejinemo Dintintia and also Echi Corentin Mute a channel 3-1. Sa and Anyama a course so far ATP a Bema na film US Opener. Nyame Adom competition a by year dear. New world number 1 a Rafa Nadal and a Carlos Alcaraz and I say a Casper Ruud. Omo 3 men at the end of the competition, no Nipa be win the competition bet me abetoso as world number 1. And I can see no better so Marin Cilic and Carlos Alcaraz beshia. Cameron Norrie and Andre Rublev beshia na Francis Tiafoe and Rafa Nadal so omodia face so and Yanko Piemo Netherlands and a Dutch GP no a course over the weekend. Max Verstappen to me a win a dramatic race after Lewis Hamilton was left fuming after Mercedes strategy no a no man knowing to me and finish it in podium places no na 2 safety cars eba BPM our circuits no so to ensure say Lewis Hamilton after tight strategy no failure mono and yadia to me a finish it in the top 3. A branch friend Max Verstappen or no Sisiani will be 109 points lead at the summit of the leaderboard. Sisiani or no and we take only the 2 drivers Charles Leclerc and in a teammate Sergio Perez, Oshesen and Yama Elkona, na a branch friend Lewis Hamilton or the 6th, and a George Russell of Mercedes on also at the 4th. Sir and Anyama of course by race Nankasa dear. A branch friend Max Verstappen and a torso first, a branch of torso second, a branch friend George Russell and a branch friend Charles Leclerc of Ferrari or no a torso third. And I'm very happy morning show sports updates no ABC for more sports. Okay, yeah.
5 year be the message be sending me or send me
Okay. From
fine. Yeah, everything is inside.
Very good, very good.
Also, please tell Raymond I owe him lunch
Fantastic.
because of his hair.
Fantastic.
Yes. A friend of Joan.
Okay, Joanne.
Yeah.
And me share him.
Yeah, okay.
Very good.
And you see me in chambers.
Very good.
With some distance more.
Yeah. And Joanne, I know pay in Chiakesi and come out. I'll be looking forward to the lunch. Sammy, but as I said, we deliver message to message very important.
A very important message.
Yeah. Aha, and I did you meet in the best. For more sports, tune in to Happy Sports at 9 a.m. or Henry Bampo Benya and the rest of the team. Or Mutenasia, or with more sports ever bremo.
To the happy morning show, Ebre, as I said, your day and a pay and CBG business tips na Ebre Omanfo na fe ne Omanfo edi nkomo our happy morning show. So CBG for say you know nkomo your church, you know how to open a bank account, the things you must look out for before joining a bank, the facilities you must look for, how to keep your account safe, and you mean edidi nkomo. But on the pay, you di nkomo efa a safe banking and you didn't come out ATM card and your checkbook. Sometimes if we can the ATM card at the nimu if we can the checkbook no at the nimu the paboni for before can as of our checkbook no T page back we will the here and so signature no over who sign we will of our ATM card not only more pin code we will okujana down 1,000 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 echo. And we need to learn to protect some of these valuables, you know, ATM card or checkbook. Please protect it. Don't just keep it in the open. Keep it in a safe place. And the paboniphobia and to me and finansa and can. You'll be your phone lines now out to me shortly, but Raymond, as your message came to me, one also came to me. Joanne, Lady Joanne, as you are popularly called, and I pay and check and see any day my war. Was it in China Incan come into Evercum? You're a very lovely person, I know. Very lovely person. Joanne, very prayerful person. Joanne, very thoughtful person. Joanne, very lovely person. Joanne, and I pay me boabaso for being the person you've been.
Until I'm lunch, and I'm quite sure about
my minimum dedication. You also the basin, Sunni. Java quite the mouth video by friend saying. John, I said, come to do. You're our favorite more man. I'm fun to John.
And they're low key. Snails.
And Joanne, Charlie, have a beautiful day and the very best of the day to you. And the rest, you know, which I mean, chambers are. Well, you to also name your phone lines now and want to add the phone pay. Come back to the happy morning show. You to also na any amount for ending come on. Your beautiful lines now at your 0244 885140 0244 885140 with me after Nani Edin Kumo and 0555 657 278. Hello, good morning. Morning, Chief.
Good morning.
Morning. When you are Miss me, you are contact me from my contact. Me you are contact Yanko. Me Kwame. And I always want to cook a more listening one. I said,
I'll go, but baby,
Yamia do cook a now. So,
we do my food now, will be out here.
Yamia,
maybe in the Nokre after the Africa. Maybe MP no treat you, container no open, and me. My more about open it. Last week, over the weekend, no, on my penny bar, a pro our central region. Opening, make me a catch us on my penny, what say you see cutting. There is no one single one project in power on my penny and no kufado. Etimi a day, a beer and no say, me buy ye a juma might a media numpuni. Ye besan and no kufado say, Eti cabe bar, watching, this year watching. Again, what I appear for Mumusa and Nakufado, and Gamusan said, Sika baby, Pena watching, again, what it says, can I? And then what it up? Sika, I'll catch you after the walk, was it? Did you want me pay me and say what finance ministry? Oh, but this is 1.1 million. And the who can assume both Kansika 11 billion or Germany and that's what damn woman paid. Parliamentary candidate to crack out. On this can no comedy. Would you trust?
Me do say for me now. Questions now be so about Western region. The papers are reporting Wutu Senior West and Gumwa East, 2 factories where and one commission over Honoma apt cylinder factory. One more commission. It is employing some 250 people in that area. My main next caller. I will come back to the story. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
The champion Hussein Adam Tam free at Tama.
You.
Open you can say, Kakrami Pesa Mechanic, will be any whole tree for a Paco, will be any tree for a Paco, on my penny president Kufado. Papai, what catch a can afford to Musikawa Hapa opening? Nesikawa Gana Ha, and Kama Penny Betra to confuse the 10 years. As I say, at the camera, away, on my penny back there, so I could get one factory, Anno. Masa, you better Ghana for. This is a way of football, and on my penny president Kufado, go to Ghana for, you better Ghana for that. They say, I track Ghana Hama, Komari, a pa, a Komaka, Ghana for. You better have a Solinia football, you better have a Soliani, you saw your knee. Opani, you can't afford me in there for a one day. That made a bit of the Camasibanians for your Bunny and Canada, and better Ghana for. That's what 24 when I said, no fat father. 90 to be an animal before you. Bio Plano, Mestre, and from a Castle before, and with a 300 general secretary.
Minia, India Huni, India Huni, Miss Ropi, India Huni. Yantuaso, na Indi. Almost a tactical movement now, because of the man. We India Huni. 0555 657 278. Guess who I saw over the weekend? Rose, Queen of the Airways. Oh, Rose is a very beautiful lady, eh?
Oh, really?
Yeah, very beautiful lady.
Oh.
Yeah. Hello, good morning. Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, I'm Pacho, baby, I'm free.
A friend is in Casafate tomorrow night.
Yo, Idi Yanko.
Your friend said, your chia ribbon to which you can see chia. And
Me Nanchana Bada, Sunny Equator.
I don't know if you on the one kind of message because who's to see chia? That's here chia. Oh, a friend say, you see, man, you now need this special star. SIM card issue. Say Echo Court.
Kwame say Griffiths. I say Kwame Griffiths.
Yes, so we entering Franco Court. That your mom will enter a court catch say their set interest we're gonna need. That SIM card issue Anna. You share your two the new idea say Ghana for this a best set, this is a Ghana card.
Yeah.
Who I won't even on the man who are only gonna need. Say Anna. It is one means you make come sanity.
Ghana card, and they identify you as a citizen.
That you your first labor card. I do yes, this is Mount. You don't guarantee you got all Ghana. I'm a Scott Adia to Ghana card will be your crack. Sorry, and Shada.
Sir, what is Okoti LI 2111? So it is Okoti. For your own information, get the LI 2111 and read what is in there. Me okay, quickly I want to download to read the LI. Kone kukai.
Without Garatan, when you're gonna
Medoase no pay. It is self feminine about me no eso. Also bet me a feminine medin como 0244 885140 and as 0555 657 278 0555 657 278. Now only me edin como. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
Operator, I'm a friend. I'm not seeing you count on what you're food now. Oh, studio. Opening one year member, Nana Amwako, and I'm a fight no castle. Opening me as a Ghana for not to your man or money and piano. You can pet or money, and you pet or money in Kosovo. They can't be opening South Best Set here, and next, you're sick of that because of who you're going to name. Ebani say ena koko visa openi. Yet your man Ghana ha. You could hear your Sept contracted. Oh, get Sept and not foreigners. Their passport openi. It is the open man you a dog my Ghana. A day of this car, make you in kind. Now, open my Ghana and not a whole war. Momuji of my Ghana, but it's like a clear no fear of the opening. Instead, show for my Ghana to be a yes, but fast or man the colony. A beautiful book of man of God because it's a big egg at the dear. There is a country or better than what it would be on my face or what the opinion that I didn't fit. I didn't have to go to food. I had a junior na do ye junior wa so be fini na ka wo tre abane ta ko e de ya obeta o de ya obeta e de it must take side and over $2,000 and you didn't get a water open your back room what about the way the funny you see to get a book as your palm here now what can get you na go off food here what more so my that a food shop I don't come to attack the money now na o de mo dia so ka sa de mo dia o ju ju ta so ko ba ba no ku sa ko you know my
me do say me sire o ya ampa no mo ba ya so nice mo system kakra enye heaven ko an e pese ekoji aketua no eya mo nka nche nyankopon se ya ye di nu kwa ye adwuma no mo ma enwosira na ye sika nwosira ne ensongu ye so asase so ansa na heaven no yakoji bi ho na heaven de kwa wa ebeche
Your pastor is listening.
ebeche hello good morning.
Morning, sir.
Yes sir chief.
Yes, sir. I think I reported to you some couple of months ago. There's a station, last year with a station around, I think, the Gomwa East municipal. So, and to be precise, I think the 40 Enclave. I'm enjoying the Asian money show, and yet very pervert or seeker to listen to it. May young be now, secondly, I think even in team now ASK, these are all free some of the absolute or they clear support. Now you could take support for them. And please as a friend president to wear the same thing to him. I could declare using I were able to say or the east or west. I could declare support offering to order. Now I frank every day to it. Now, this guy, Obimeno, Obaba, and Robert Studio, Anape.
Dabi, Obimba studio.
I don't know, say, or maybe too, but that about the same or call Univer Technical School or a product of Univer Technical School or a science because we need one Obimeno. I'm saying the same year. On a something.
Were we a year, Ben? Were we a year, Ben?
96.
96. Obimeno. Oh dear, we find out. But Obimeno dear, Obeko pension, but
okay.
But I'll find out for you. Right.
And obey ex Primark Vice President Abekansa. Oko elections my Bubono blues. Bubono. This is here no. Oh yeah.
You already say upper about for the man.
Mefino.
Oh, what's that? I didn't know about Tonaba. Uncle you.
Mefino. Mommy family caller. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Hello? All right. Yeah. Morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Apomen.
Nyame adom.
Abuyi, hello, good morning.
Abu who show who TV so na make us out. Well, Abu, sorry, but TV it's become difficult here nobody in command pay. But don't frame me up, many better say nobody in command. I will media so happy 98.9 FM. ETV and after Nisi 95.9. Obetimi share on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Now also comments biano or their phone now their brand pay. I will Jimmy no. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Sami.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Sami, na pom design.
Nyame adu mpacho na so e.
Chame mpacho Abubakar the original Abubakar nini am February Kumasi Aswasu constituency.
You.
Chame made up yena masini ata pa dumaji pa mudi. Chame enya wa wasa de bia mijipa bi minya me colleague bi ba o se o ti container ho pe. MC be bia yenya ba no tu abuba no. Omo de last round NDG for so on town no on wi ho. Who de na na danko akufado ye chame. Nanu danko akufado manufacturing cylinder oko bia no oil factory na nadu ko bia no nanu ya unisana same
yeah
go phone so HUB project 60 million euro project cost for western region yenya oil refining ba ko miesa wa Ghana ubo phone so ebeba na nadu danko akufo adon sanu adwuma papa baby owo bi enyankopon won hia no ntunu nkwam na endi jana de am betan ko mo ba yenya Ghana for and the politics tantan and the me nya sa ye ba yenka achievement me mama idi o yeni ebia me ma ba o wetuma na nam se omo no ye di o man se omo sa tabi kutre Ghana kura no omo ntimi manufacture man nya fertilizer omo ntimi nya bibia vision ne enche na ni hoti bibia nya no ma ba se na nado abokati obia interchange se na nado danko akufado be ye ne peso no omo fa omo di amra ne fa toto hospital sa hospital rose and the kate omo se so mo aduma je pa omo susu pa omo e vision pa omo famna enne politics na nya na nado ba no fa no ye ha enne emwa tame baby papa no obia ni na beje che ni mpanyifo yakobon chira omo yenim se wi atia yetin enya Ghana nkoa nso nyema bekoyi amagana afa ne ntuma pefra
medo asana pay so for me now badge me din so you be five final call na fe no ye movie on ye ka say ye Ghana month na e wo mu no intana pa wo hwe enye usual shoot no ene jacket ni ya hye ene ya betina ha fati ahye ne beautiful ntuma ode abetina ha no se mesuma hye me de we mu so ahye ne de hello
good morning apo me
yamina dum
ya pocho mukata Cape Coast.
You, Yanko.
We're from Aminu. Cape Coast, Abra. Pochenyo.
You.
Pocho oya. Let's say your car of achievement there. My politics. Mufande sa for ND sa ban wa bay yini mo waye. Na MPP sa ban wa wabe yini mo wari ye. Trying to say yari comparison zama oya na on yet, there were young kama a man and yet to make Miss Man or Codation, Miss Man Codon, you will omit Oyerson, a many piano Myerson, pen order yet, yes, ma, supposed to be Mamma Orion, with too much debaters out, but share a comparison, yet damn the demo oil on yet. A pen as a man the way the Mayan, the Miss Young can call Queen, your main, the Myers, papa, you can pay an everybody, a man and oil. Uncle, your friend that a secretary say you're facing. Uncle man, and then you offend the better, Uncle smoothly. Of a man, they want no urban offender, some cats in the side. They want no matter Matilda, what can you Fatus as this now your friend the Dama who call it current. They want sister and one my sister a friend the national ID card. And kept below you. If you would have a license, is it below you? If you offend passport, is it boy? Get a card and put in Sabi. Every day, I mean, me a sales. And some which over the book, every day, you will village, what they will village, did she? And one or better one fund that's the echo of funders. Sometimes there's some put in the Juma. And with Juma, if you want to get your place, the credit. None of place, question with it. So one of what about this offend one some card and what they got a card. Or don't for Kala will fee. One village now, what the better should do. And son of Baba, so open it with my yam one. No, there was some for Kala. What's the way to be one? You see, I mean, Musudan to one more fund than that's an ID card. No, you driving license, no, your passport, on year Juma. Now, your mother for some years to be. The kind of man.
Meduase. Benusha, and Sabada na. Abon to net amamni in Como. Yantiado na yendi in Como. Na yesha sa Na me gina hanum say na me the message at the ama Ghana for we message we every former chief of staff Julius Debra was it yemfa asida kese emfa ema Ghana for nyina se wabra ne nua Cambodia eto fom na senia mobile na mobigina na chi na beta na chi na ade ato ne ni oni abusua kunafo ene nkoda na mobigina wo mo achi memendai na mone wo mo ayeyi na okra ne nua no akire no osi emfa sida kese emfa ema mu nyina obi bia wo ba bia no osi odamo ase nani eso every day one asemi esi mu amaba fie abachia no mu amaba adwuma mu abachia no na eyi ebri susu edruye na mugya mu bibia Saturdays de na say activities bebre and wonum weddings other funerals other events and yet you all came there in your numbers osi yemfa sida kese na yemfa ema mu nyina enti Julius Debra ase odagana fo nyina ase wabra wokro ne nua achi memenda atwam yi. Your information we send so embro say wope a quick loan be at the atre wadwuma mu send wadwuma na ebe kese to the tune of around let's say 500,000 Ghana cedis. CBG Forceman can just almost at a very special package be by CBG SME Smart and Advanced Loan Solution. Ebeboa amwedwuma no aye kese from 5,000 Ghana cedis to 500,000 Ghana cedis. Almost say they made this provision for all businesses and you know but more than answer also no modi ensa also that also unsa ebeka sikani bi process no and yet very difficult process very easy processor obetimi afemo na also no unsa aka usika no and more than so be for CBG for 0302 216 000 0302 216 000 na only CBG4 edi in so anopay na storm puma any awake drinks when we say can just walk up in there edi ye ko na womo ese kan say womo edi ahode so nkopa na womo de ekota black stars for echi the energy drink ayi na ye benom for walk up in there kwa na bi share bag with medical say me the live report e be free kata edi abrew Raymond and Fati when by Jumano, Abraham is kata na me de live feed no me de bremo na me de pictures send them and the jake say pa and ye koje kata na happy moments are here and he saying when we say let's storm the World Cup Qatar 2022 with Storm Energy Drink, Puma soft drinks, and awake drinking water from Casapreco Company Limited. Ghana, Yanka said, simply buy your favorite Storm Energy Drink, Puma soft drink, and I say awake prefer drinking water. Text the 4-digit unique numbers on the neck of the bottle to short code *780 option 2 hash option 2 and then type yes *780 hash option 2 and then type yes. Na una will follow a prompt now. All networks are free of charge. Be that one lucky winner to this year's World Cup in a monthly draw. You can also win TVs, fridges, microwaves, mobile phones, home theaters, free drinks, and more instantly. Don't waste time. Grab a bottle of Storm Energy drink. Na yenko na yenko support Black Stars wabra. Yade World Cup, you know. Yade share so. Last week, yade penny form free farmer line for ebaya. Yene mo edi nkomo farmer initiative campaign 2022. Almost young training year at the animal some cano a very day, especially with Ghana with Russia Ukraine war and net fertilizer so many be a tono and one some can add in papa. Name Punya be a nebono and yasam ketwa. And almost say young born first fertilizers and bro maimu. Now young tinny born so send a Ghana for in farmers a bit me to be and it's an omode a year side media one more Ediaba farmer initiative campaign. Almost say contribute just 10 Ghana cedis, 5 Ghana cedis, 20 Ghana cedis, 1,000 Ghana cedis. Young fan cover fertilizer and fan bro maimu. Send ya Ghana for for every day normal use so normally a dear woman and no buy. It was there that I learned to say. See if I some ya would ya a brofu na all the fertilizer, one for fertilizer and gusua, minia. You may lose about 70% of a year income na ocean in Kwasobenya. But say all the a year fertilizer egusua, then you plow back that 70% in American Wasano. And who here say fertilizer there, your boy Emma Equia for one more NB. One more say, dial star 887 star 4444 hash star 887 star 4444 hash na onsusu no donate kakra efama na yenye inshira enfama ya kasa ye ho na Kempon Travel and Tours for CN countries minia si ade kata no days no ben na eben enti yembo modern ase nyina no ye de ho ebegimu wo so wo aye travel arrangements nyina e de amount accommodation ticket feeding match tickets internal transport internal tourism wo so my nyina e de amawa minia you can also take advantage na onsusu no what me I enjoy be from 0302 798020 mebacho ubenya omo na oni omo edi nkomo omo se enka wo se womo any CBG bank branches ni nyina no womo any omo edi nkomo eba no eye sene ahun so betimi enya onoma na so odi atukwan fefefe so enti woni CBG fo ensu ni nkomo na ka chom so beso tukwan ekokata wo mebo afefe so na onsu no wotimi akobi enti wei ene sen kakra ye de ma adofo anope ojimedi ni so anope minia David Makulu abeka mensa weekend idea namne na ene nama yasanso e de abehia mu hanum say anope Dave good morning
Sami
na impomoko de ye de ase ye dim komo na wie na ye share anope de menim say ye table is anope ye bedi auditor general's report ni bedi enho enkomo ye table say yebedi enkomo afa president Kufadwa looks for ekuhu na work say we should have a broader engagement on educational sector free SHS and one sensem and a place can purpose na chance for kasa senia bibia ebitimi akọ enkan some common any idea but aside these say issue beyond ma you'd want to touch on and sana best start here
we don't say we chat for now for now. Let me say the kind of weekend. We had an interesting weekend when the former chief of staff, Honorable Julius Debra, was laying his brother to rest. We saw the creme de la creme of Ghana's political runners there. It was quite an interesting scene. I saw quite a number of people that I have not seen in a long while. It kind of gave me an impression of how what's the name? The elections are about to kick in. I mean, election preparations are about to kick in. But one significant thing is that it also shows how popular the former chief of staff is. But going beyond that, I think it's kind of those who I've spoken to a few people there. You know, also they be a juma.
Yeah.
So, I say it gives me something. I mean, to reference it later to what we are coming to discuss this morning. Say, what to me now? Dream nipa dream. I think that many have spoken about how selfless he is, how reaching he is in terms of many people
in politics.
In politics,
because it cuts across. If you saw the people who came from the political
it was from all walks of life.
Yeah.
I think that the politicians, once you touch hearts, your heart get touched as well. So it was beautiful seeing people, running up around him to support him, to lay his little brother to rest. I will stand on your platform again and express condolences, and of course join him in thanking all the people who rallied around him to do that beautiful thing over the weekend. That is what I would like to say for now.
All right.
Let's get.
So let's get to the issues. Auditor General's report, Abba. Virtually everybody is talking about the Auditor General's report. it's not as if this is a new idea. AC anytime BR Auditor General's report baby, there'll be noise in the country because we would have heard about in Jumakua, she say one better to be BR, come. Now about who we are saying that's not what they are doing. And so you ask yourself, oversight responsibilities of these agencies in the home corner. One more responsibilities, are they performing them well? Seeing all these agencies have their own internal auditors as well. They are supposed to be auditing their entities to make sure the books are balancing. In the end, Public Accounts Committee will sit. When they sit, we'll watch it on television. People will be asked questions. They will not be able to answer. We will laugh, we will smile, and that'll be the end.
Sammy, Auditor General's report. As for the recurring nature of it, every year, the audit report bar. It is always a case. It's always a negative case. We all just, cry about it, and then we wait for the next one to come. And year in, year out, it looks like it just gets worse. Me hear Auditor General report no more. Does reply me hear mu kakra. Na neoma a woman. Let me say on cursory note, I don't think the Auditor General has done a very good work.
Okay.
And I say that because, well, of course, there's always a second book that must be looked into. This is more or less the summary. But I think we need to start bringing out the details and subjecting every detail to a full-blown analysis and perhaps pushing for prosecution as we've always been asking for. I was reading parts of it where he even refused to mention names of organizations which clearly have violated the law in terms of the things that they had to do. Some of them perhaps were even used for just to just prepare some figures. If you look at ECG, you look at petroleum, what's the name? National Petroleum, that's NPA. There was a particular thing I saw in the ECG where he mentioned that some contracts had been awarded. They were supposed to receive supplies, and they ordered the supplies in a foreign country. So they ordered the supply directly from the factory and got everything from from outside the country. But there were people in here who took money for being what's the name? Middlemen, who did no work. He recognized that, but the name of the said company was missing. If we are not careful, these things will seem like we are working, like they are auditing, that they are conforming. As the president said somewhere over the weekend that, he saying that corruption is actually doing better under the fight against corruption is doing better under his watch. I mean, which is like he being in denial, because everyone know that this current president, this current government is superintending a very serious corruption-ridden government. There is no single department under his watch that is not, liable for corruption related issues one way or the other.
But you agree with me that, like my introduction, I said, this is not the first time we are seeing Auditor General's report that is so indicting.
Yes.
You saw some during the NDC's tenure as well.
Yes, and I'm saying that. You see, even if you look into this corruption, the report, I think that he's been evasive in many ways. If you pick them one after the other, unfortunately, time wouldn't allow us to go through these things one after the other. But if you look in the report, he has been quite evasive, in a way I had not seen before. I was just citing an example of one of the ECG contracts that supplies were being taken from, I think, China or so, and it was taken directly from the factory. Yet there were people here who were paid over $2 million, dollars for, being, the ones doing the contract. Meanwhile, the ECG office ordered the goods directly from China. There are many, countless ones in this report. And you see, if you prepare a report and you are being evasive like that, it tells us what it is. I mean, there has been so many doubts over this, what's the name? Auditor General. And I'm saying that the report will look like, corruption has been exposed in the report, but if you look into it, it's more or less covered. That's how I see it. I think that it is not difficult for anyone to see what is going on. The lifting it beyond the Auditor General's report, the family and friends governance, where you put your family members, your brothers, your nieces, your children, your friends in political space. What happens is that when they are misbehaving, you cannot question it. Why are we where we are? It's simple. We have laws in this country which says that every money that is received in tax, in loans, and in any other fund that comes to government must go into a consolidated fund. And that at the end of the day, before the year begins, the finance ministry is required to present a budget to Parliament. Parliament look through the budget and then approve that you can use this money, you can use that money, you can use that. And there are laws which limit everyone to the user to follow the budget. That you cannot go outside the budget. If you do not go by the budget, you need to go back to Parliament and ask for authorization in case there is an emergency or there is a reason that you must, deviate from the budget. You go back to Parliament and ask Parliament that put the issue before Parliament and say, look, we asked for 10,000 Ghana cedis, but there is a need to use 12,000 Ghana cedis. So can you approve another 2,000 for us? And then Parliament will then say yes or no. Then you go and spend it. If Parliament says no, you can't spend it because you are spending on behalf of the people. It is not your money. It is not your pocket money. You are spending it on behalf of the people. So you go back to Parliament, and there are laws to that effect. And in these days, it becomes so blatant that people are not scared of the laws that are governing us. And because, when they flout the law, they can refer us to court where, confidence is deepening. You see? So, simply put, we have a public financial management system which governs all our the financial sector, monies that come in, monies that are expended. So, and then if you do not fall, and these laws are there because we realize the possibility of people, doing things their own way and getting away with it. So the laws are there. If you want to spend money, you go by the law. The same government, when they were in opposition, made a lot of criticism about how the then government were misapplying funds and were not sticking to the laws. They came to government And it looks like it's become so normal to flout the law. It has become so normal to flout the law. The, what's her name? Parliament itself sits there. Of course, when you ask them, they say they are doing their best and all that. But Parliament is composed of, they are representation of the people. Every constituency, we take it, every individual in this country is to be represented by a parliamentarian, except, of course, our brothers in Seoul, who are still not being represented. So how did it happen that all these authorities are in place, the laws, the representations who are to question how these expenses are made? There's a procurement, what's the name? A procurement unit in Parliament, public procurement, the one that Aveji is heading.
I'm lost.
It's a committee. Is this committee that? Okay, it will come. I mean,
Public Accounts
Public
Committee.
Account Committee. Where we move from to from here is to take this report to Public Accounts Committee. They are supposed to be calling all of them and asking whether you have done this. The same thing that what's an Auditor General is supposed to have done. He is supposed to go, and if the auditor even has more resources in terms of human resources and technicalities to even probe these companies even more than even Public Account Committee. But we are going to just reenact what the Auditor General has done, perhaps even in a more milder way, at the Public Account Committee, and it ends there. The following year, we go back and do the same. Where do we move to from here? I think that if you look at the general picture, the way corruption has been made normal in the Akufo-Addo's government, you will realize that what is contained in this Auditor General's report is small. Look, if you see the kind of things, the rots that are happening, the corruption, what has been covered in this report is small. Yes, 10 billion Ghana cedis is said to be what is wasted. But people are taking millions in dollars. Even as we cry that our country's economy is going bad, there are people who are taking millions in dollars in blatant corruption, from the presidency to the last agency of government. And the president knows about it. The people who are paid to watch, the people who are paid to look into these matters and to prevent this, are themselves involved. Why? I saw a report this morning where DC and the BNI couple have been arrested over missing excavators. Don't we know about excavators, over 500 excavators that got missing under the watch of the president and his staffers and chief of staffs were involved? We knew about it. Where did that end us? So, Sammy, to be honest with you, this report, we're just going to be, singing about it again, just as if you don't have anything to do. But in the end, it is the same song.
Dave, if you look at the provisions of the Constitution, especially when it comes to the Auditor General's Act, and after the presentation of the report to Parliament, it's interesting that you see the activities of Parliament, the Public Accounts Committee's work, as being far milder in terms of approach than what the Auditor General is doing. But if you follow the Public Accounts Committee's settings, you realize that there have been instances where police have been invited for the sittings and people have been whisked away immediately after the session is done. You remember that there have been instances where people immediately after they've come, they take them away. But the issue has to do with the internal auditing mechanisms within these state agencies themselves, because that is why there are audit departments in these agencies. Virtually all of them have their agencies, their audit departments in these agencies. So you ask yourself, how is it that these internal audit departments are not able to uncover these? But they would have to take the Auditor General's department virtually every year to be the one to uncover these things.
Well, let's just say that they are double checking. Maybe the internal mechanisms available. That is not to give any excuse. The internal mechanisms available. You know, there's frailty everywhere, but it's possible that the internal mechanism may not be robust enough to check everything. And that's where there are supposed to be external auditors. And then, apart from the external auditors, also the Auditor General. It's also the Auditor General's department. So you see about 3 different auditors there who are auditing the same account. I think that we must find a way to bring in even the auditors, the external auditors, make them all liable to whatever goes wrong in those departments. You see, problems when you see mischiefs like this, problems like this, the only way to progress is to find solutions for them. What solutions have we been providing in the past years? What have we, for many years now, Auditor General report comes, there are scandals, there are corruption, irregularities. What have we been doing after getting to know what the problem is? That, for instance, some receipts, purchases were not receipted, and so the Auditor General recommends that it be receipted the next time. We go back and the same thing is in the books. How do we come off from there? You understand? So it's not just a matter of just writing the report and leaving it there every year doing same. If you talk about the Public Accounts Committee, look, when you talk to them, they tell you we are not being properly resourced. They need to go from department to, and I disagree to that, having to go from department to department, because it's the same thing the internal auditor did, it's the same thing the external auditor did, and it's the same thing the Auditor General's report, Auditor General's department also did. We need to move on from just going visiting, and to your surprise, anytime they go there, somebody is going to take money. Somebody takes money, and they take that money. Where is the money coming from? They go to this department, somebody pass money through so that they can close the books and go.
But do you have any evidence?
I'm saying that, but
when,
for
when
that,
they,
but for that,
go there,
but for
I
that,
mean, there's, because these are people who are supposed to go and cure that, ill in the system.
So if they are
if you are suggesting that they would go there and rather because they have an interest to go,
but why are they overlooking the monies we are talking about here? 10 billion. Where did it go waste? Somebody has been put to audit even the orders before they go out. What happened? Then the external auditor who is to write that, the internal auditor did, or the department did their job well and blah, 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 this money is missing, it should be retrieved. If this thing is checked at that point, then it wouldn't get to the Auditor General's department or into the Auditor General's report where the same defect is still reflecting. It is only when something is happening there. And our society is money. Everybody goes take and then overlook the problem. And so we are going to be talking about, we'll talk about it for a while and we leave it. The problem persists.
I was reading an article on one of the tabloids where Honorable Roxanne Dafiamepo was making the case that Parliament should be given some prosecutorial powers, the Public Accounts Committee for that matter. Do you share that view?
Parliament's powers perhaps are even more than, in this context, more than what the Auditor General, even the police may have. Parliament can order anything. They don't need any prosecutorial powers. Prosecute where? We still have to go to the same court. which the CID man will go. You understand? So procurement, public account committee, I think would have rather surmise all the problems that have emanated from the internal auditor up to the auditor general's level and procure some solution for it. Not to just go back and to the same processes that were undertaken by the internal auditor, the external auditor, and the auditor general's department. We are just wasting money because all these places, monies are paid, monies are spent for them to do this work. Okay, so that is another set of money being wasted that we are not looking at. It's about time we start thinking practical, what will work, what will solve our problems. But there again, Mr. Politician is hiding there. He oversees all this and pretend he hasn't seen it. Okay, and you know, they splash money all around. Who is accounting for all the monies they are splashing around? When we talk about COVID, when you see the reports on COVID, you realize that some monies have been misapplied there. We disjoint it from when the woman in the Tamale told us that monies were allocated to party chairmen, party executives, up to the lowest level in the party. Where did that money came from? You see, so we need to link them up. Where is the money coming from? When you go to COCOBOT, in 2020, I have done thorough research on COCOBOT and put it out that they were giving contracts that were not necessary. They were giving it to party apparatchiks. If you hold party card, you go and then you can take some fertilizer to go and distribute. That's what they were doing. I've had issue with the COCOBOT. They went to, what do they call it? National Media Commission. We ended there. Today, the report is saying the same thing I have said. So much amount of money is missing from COCOBOT. In the name, they have not been retrieved. They will never retrieve it because it's gone to party apparatchiks. They will never get to retrieve those monies because it was distributed or was given away in bad faith. Check the report and see how much COCOBOT, you know. There are instances where, look, when Mahama was president, they were giving fertilizer for free, weren't they? They were giving fertilizer for free. The current government came and said that they were not going to give free fertilizers anymore. And that they were going to sell the fertilizer.
As subsidized?
As subsidized, yes. Where is the proceeds from the sales? How much have they retrieved? Check. How much have they retrieved?
So Dave, what's the solution to this annual ritual of Auditor General's report comes, Public Accounts Committee sits, media makes noise about it, and we make, you know, juice out of it for 2 weeks or some 3 weeks. It ends there. Nobody lands in prison. Monies are not recovered, and then it ends there. How do we solve this then once and for all? Because there are state agencies which have a mandate to ensure that there isn't any corruption in these institutions. So you remember the SIGA reports that came out, which told us how most of these state institutions are underperforming. And yet, most of these same institutions, when you check the Auditor General's report, you find the amount of money that is leaving the accounts of these institutions. And yet they are supposed to be underperforming. So that how do we solve this problem once and for all? That this time around, it's not going to be the usual when the 2022 Auditor General's report is made ready in 2023.
Sami, as I've said, there's a big problem of corruption. If you break it down, there's one end where the technical people who are supposed to solve the problem down there either turn the other way for two possible reasons. That the person who is corrupting that office is more powerful than them, or they, well, let me say three, or they don't understand why they are there, or even they themselves are probably don't deserve to even be there, or they probably also corrupting themselves. Either way. Then you move from that end, from state to state, where political party members, activists, who will say, we voted for this person, it is our party, they would also seem more powerful than the technical guys. And therefore, you remember when former, was it National Security, BNI guy in Kumasi was dragged from his office by, MPP activists, invisible forces. So a typical case like that, if it happens in a department or agency, and the accountant or auditor is supposed to check and see whether this receipts, what's the name, procurement is being done appropriately or not, you know what would happen. So there's some sort of fear in those departments which may be preventing the technical people from doing their work. And you move from there all up, where President has put his, what's the name, his brothers, his nephews, cousins in places. A typical case of finance minister, when he's taking money from the system and putting it in his bank, would you be able to comment? You can't. When people talk about it, he says, oh, they are doing very well. That when Ken Oforiatta was financing the party, where were those who think that he's my brother? So that same scenario you see at the top, where Ken Oforiatta, the cousin of the president, is the finance minister. His other brothers littered around all the, ministries and departments. It's the same thing that goes down. You hear an MP saying, oh, I put these people in this place and all that, and now campaigning that they should vote for him to be flag bearer because he made people go into the military and all that.
But is that not what is done over the years?
I mean,
MPs place their constituents, they look for jobs for them, whether it's in the forces, whether it's in any of the government institutions. MPs do that.
Yes, but when it is, I mean, it's on record that there are people who are walking into those places who don't deserve to be there. True. By way of merit. They are not merit. They don't merit.
It's not meritorious.
So that is the scenario we create from the scratch, from the lowest level of government departments to the top echelon of politics and governance. That is what is placing us in this situation where every year we have to go back and be reading how much billions have been, what's the name? Embezzled, how much irregularities you have recorded, and all that. Right. That is exactly what it is. We have to step back from there and make sure that everything we do is on merit. And of course, we cannot say this without re-echoing how corruption at the top is affecting the down.
All right. Now, let's move on to our second issue because we have 10 more minutes before we go for a breather and then we activate the phone lines again.
I thought today I'll have double this since my brother didn't come.
But so far, I've given you your double.
You are trying.
Yes, your double dose. So the president says that we need to have broader engagement, broader consultation, broader, conversation about our educational system. There have been concerns about a review of the free SHS program, and several other prominent Ghanaians, educationists, civil society organizations, pastors, who have all called for us to have a second look at the free SHS program. The president says that, look, we need to have an engagement on our educational system. Your thoughts on that?
So, I mean, if I were President Akufo-Addo, I'll keep quiet. I'll keep my mouth shut. Because all these things that he's saying now, people have said them before, except he didn't have foresight. when you recall, when the debate on free SHS hit the roof, there were discussions from his opponents that, look, the Constitution guarantee free SHS, a free education, up to the highest level. It was for the want of resources that they couldn't go for it. He went on the populist route. And even when, it was also, he benefited from it, he still kept on deceiving himself that it was going to work. And I'm not one of the people who think free SH was not going to work. I think it would have worked, but for the usual corruption that it was bedeviled with. So today, look, even after he won election with the free SHS, Mahama came. It needs to be reviewed. Hypocritically, the president said review meant he was going to scrap it if he was voted for. So when he said that there is a need to review it, is he saying that he's going to scrap it? Let's say put it that is his understanding of review. Is he saying that he's going to scrap it? That is the problem our president had. Very hypocritical on issues and petty on issues. Very partisan and populist. Other than that, you were the one who just 2020, you told us, Mahama said, he was going to review the free SHS. And now, and that means he's going to scrap it. So where is it now that has it gone into the dictionary to see the meaning of review?
But if you listen to the president, he wasn't directly referencing the free SHS program. He was referencing our educational system in totality. Because you see, what transpires at the basics level is what is carried along into the secondary and then again into the tertiary.
People have called for same. People have called for review of free SHS. You cannot talk about educational system without talking about free SHS. The problem identified with free SHS, even at that time when the experts were talking about it, was that you are moving people from a certain level into a certain system. You need resources, and you need resources to make sure it works. And at the time, the resources weren't available. So let's do it gradually. Build schools, make sure we have enough teachers, the books, and all that should be available. He didn't adhere to any of those. Indeed, he used the schools building against his opponent. He came and started, what's her name? The shift system all of a sudden. And we got to a situation where students who were supposed to be in school for 3 months, go 2 weeks, and come back and go again. I mean, the whole educational system is in shambles. This call for review. But the reason he has to be saying educational system instead of free SHS is because what he has done has destroyed the entire educational system.
Now, if you listen to the president, he makes the point that if indeed it is as you say, then check out the results of the students who pass out of the senior secondary
What
school.
report? The report that results. we get result that we keep hearing from WAEC, how its credibility is going down. Is that the report he's talking about?
Is it in the case of leaked papers?
I mean,
is that what you're referencing?
I'm saying that we have had all those reports.
But it doesn't mean that in generality, the results that has come, because at the end of the day, if indeed the free SHS program was a quantitative one and not a qualitative one.
Of course, that is what it is.
Like by now, we should be here seeing the screaming headlines suggesting of the failure level when it comes to the results that comes out at the end of the day. from students who have come through the system, especially batch 1, who were the first batch, and then the second batch. We would have seen the results being terrible, but that has not been the
I
case.
have not had time to look at the report, any data on whether they are doing well, what numbers have gone to the schools and what numbers are coming out, as having passed very well and all that. But I am aware that many parents are decrying the state of education now. If you expert in education, I mean, how do you expect that for all 5 years, students have not had textbooks to study with? I mean, and in most cases, they spend fewer hours in school than they spent in previous years. It's not a rocket science. You cannot tell me that that system is better than what we have. If indeed they've gone and passed, that cannot be synonymous to quality education.
I am trying to look for the WASI results for you.
And I'm saying that if you look at the result, I don't know what the results are saying, but if you look at the result, that may not give you a better picture of whether or not the education system we have now is a qualitative or quantitative one, to borrow your words. If you want to know, you do analysis. And we are all aware that there are no textbooks for the students, that they spend lesser hours in school than before, that in most cases, there are places that teachers are not even having access. So this system cannot be better than the one before, except if we are to say that the teachers, the teacher to student ratio has been better now, and that the students have been supplied with some sort of computers, and they can read their textbook and research from their computer. That's not the case.
Well, I am looking at data, and if you look at the data, David, the data would tell you, and this is a CTFM story 2 years ago. It says comparative analysis of WASI core subjects from 2016 to 2020. And it gives you a table. Now, on that table, they give you a breakdown of 2016, 2017, 2018, different subjects. That's English, maths. Okay, now I really don't know their subjects very well. But science is also there. And then they've written SSTD. I hope I'm seeing right. Now, you realize that the results have been good. Because in 2016 English, for instance, percentage in terms of, those who go between A1 and C6, it was 53.2. This was in 2016. In 2017, it was 54. In 2018, it was 46. In 2019, it was 49. In 2020, it was 57.3. Maths, it was 32.8. 2017, 42.7. 2018, 38.3. 2019, it was 45. And then 2020 is 65.7. And these numbers have been appreciating from 2016. If you look at science as well, it's been appreciating. So if you take these 4 subjects, it's been appreciated. And what else can we use to judge the performance of the system, if not for the results we're seeing?
The reason you need to be careful in resorting to numbers is that numbers make more sense when they come in full. What you have said there, you have not told me how many people did the science, okay? So that the percentage would be compared to the other set of people.
I said, the numbers increase.
No, we are talking about the number. You are talking about rates. You're talking about what percentage got past the subject. And I'm saying that you need to appreciate how many people actually took the exam.
Yes, but you agree with me that over the years, from 2016 up to now, the number of people who have been sitting for the examination as a result of the free SHS is higher than that of 2016.
Yeah, but you are talking about subject specifics.
Yes.
So we need to talk about those numbers.
But even if you talk about subject specifics, it will be higher than the previous years.
We can't assume.
No, that's what's been the case. Access. But hold on one second. We are getting some breaking news to the effect that there has been a fire outbreak at Dadia Suaba Nursing Training College. Their hostel has been destroyed by fire, and this is in Gosu area in the Brahafo region. And so we are joined by our correspondent, Atiwin Mohammed, who is a reporter for Success FM in Gosu. Atiwin, good morning. Hello, good morning, Atiwin. Hello? All right. I believe that we would rather take our usual breather.
Yes, please.
Yes, Atiwin, and I'm to pay.
Boko.
You're going to say that is about hostel a warning for a nursing training someone no eja atomo. When you have my update kakra.
Jo. Me da se na me chia otiefo no pay. Enra yimre be no num. VR ansana no anopa no omo de enkaebo ebae kiremu se ayade omo bedum enkanea. Enti umu dum no fiti anopa be no twe saa kopem se no num epe mu pepepe na omo soye. Sabre na omo soye no na mpenefo a omo wo dade so aba nursing training college kiremu se wo hwe aye enura bra omo so light na yade a Secretary ni a wohwe aye disuafo girls dorm against hostel ra ewo ho no efre mmofra ni na se omommra na wono omo enye meeting tumu ina epie bai ya omo ete aye hostel na nimu a omo eye meeting prekope na omo hu se light ne ebaye light ne baya na wusie esi ase free aye hostel ho edi eba hu hwe hostel na efa students mako 218 aye emanko na ebasa no the suafo ne echechefo ya omuwo school mu ye se omu betimi akokọ sesa omu noma enso omu antimi anwura mesanse ehyiase ewo hostel no anim enti na omu ntimi enwura edan ni mu na omu akokọfa bibia mprempre amene wo kase uniforms a enkwada no ebehye afenso omu noma nyinara certificate laptops ahodoɔ ɛne noma omu de suadeɛ omunta de bags ahodoɔ mattress ahodoɔ ni nyina no etimi ɛhyɛ mpenifo omu wɔ dade so aba nursing training na no wɔ certificate south mensin mu wɔ afmante mu ɛyɛ sɛ omu frɛ fire tender na omu atimi afiri ɛyɛ certificate south district assembly me kyerɛ hwidiem etimi ade aba omu frɛ omu no na omu kyerɛ mu sɛ omu no fire tender na sɛ nti omu frɛ gɔsofoɔ na kyerɛ sɛ ahafo mante mu ekuropɔn yi mu omu frɛ yɛn na omu nso omu fire tender na sɛ omu frɛ asutifi north omu nso omu fire tender na sɛ asuti etano north and south nyina no na kyerɛ sɛ mensini mako ensia wɔ ahafo mante mu no fire tenders ni nyina asɛn enti kyerɛ sɛ fire service foɔ no etu pick up ekopie mu ɛwɔ school mu hɔ adesuafoɔ no hu saa no omu bufu yi ɛna omu ɛpa omu aboɔ ama omu nyinaa nso etimi adwane yɛ efiri hɔ enti mprempren mene wo kase anopa yi na mpenifo ɛyɛ sɛ nnura anadwo no omu pɛ baabi a lecture halls ne bi ɛna omu ma nkwadaa no ɛkɔdaa yɛ anopa yi mpenifo yi ɛkyerɛ mu sɛ omu bɛkɔ meeting nyame yɛ adom a meeting no omu wie ya omu bɛpɔn adesuafoɔ no na omu atumi akɔ fie na nyame yɛ adom na sɛ omu yɛ baabi a nkwadaa no bɛda a na omu atumi asa ma omu aba school no ba yɛ nkyɛn 2016 ɛna mpenifo ɛte school no ɛsan sɛ wonim Ghana sɛdeɛ yɛsete school foforɔ ɛseteɛ no yɛhyɛ ase a na agya dan no yɛ mmiɛnsa bi nti no ɛna ɔmo de ɛhyɛ ase nti no girls hostel no ɛyɛ baako pɛ ɛna ɛwɔ school mu ɛno ɛnso ɛna atumi ahyɛ no nti sɛ adesuafoɔ no ɛbɛtena school mu ɔde a ɛnyɛ deɛ ɔmɛyɛ baabi ada na ɔmɛyɛ baabi asua adeɛ ɛsan sɛ lecture halls no koraa no ɛnso mprempren a mene wɔ kase nadmo ɛna afei nso regional minister a honorable George Abuache ɛna member of parliament edema certificate south honorable Collins Dauda ɔmo nyinaa eba ho eno anajo no epe mattress ahodoɔ blankets ahodoɔ bucket ahodoɔ cup ankora no de benom nsuo ne ade de eboa wo mo anajo ne de ne mum kwa na ombeko fie sanse omuni dan a omubedem prebre me no kasa de omoso mantimi amfa bibia
yo onia ebedo ase for a update here or the but udi wani bua obetimi am ehu the number of students bia you said it might be difficult as a result of this fire outbreak can affect you almost students are affect you almost.
Okay, see the medical kan no nipa 218 and omote dan nemu na teacher ni a ohwe won so kire se omu nyina e wo school no mu a enya dia obi ekofie into omu nyina 218 students and atimi affect one.
All right. Medo ase minia say odi update we e dey free go so mpatamu odi abena no pay e ojumedi ne so. Babe, so ni say go so minim hopa. When you go so minim hopa.
Minim hopa.
Minim hopa.
No.
Yeah, diagro hopa.
Sir.
Diagro.
Na me papa ton radio.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Interesting.
Me makwana.
Well, Dave, you asking me, and I was telling you, say, as a result of the access, the numbers have been going up. And indeed, answer the vehicle can far away information into the statistics released by WAEC indicated that a total of 375,763 candidates from 976 schools entered for the examination. The figure is 8.6% higher than that of the 2019 candidates of 346,098. So as a result of the access now, obviously the numbers increased. But the enani humbrana yeba yentua and komodutwe no eso. All right, yeba to us. And you welcome back to the Happy Morning Show. Just a quick reminder to our viewers and our listeners say, Odo feeling to Hanum say, na SIC for CM Bonnie de Winnie and Cow said, with 60 Ghana cities, with me, I ensure Obano, ni education, na Ekobase or Chinebi, so only Honoma, na Akodan, who are Quang, Ebano. The accommodation, abandon the feeding, abandon the transportation, abandon the obitim the abon who bra. The FN said, Yen said, ne, and I don't wash him was sign it on. What you are 60 Ghana cities. Then you may emane manesa, and you may pa or chinechi, and nasa or chinechi, and I said next week, baby bonny be ekusia, you're covered. Until from that time, the envans over year one. From year 1 now, copy year 4, be real course no. Or ever funding in a hooker. A tia at the amount. Umperi na pede. Bacho, SIC4, more de campus secure a year insurance, one more diapa. So jump on board, na yin no, yin to be insecure in future. Miss Lopa, and friend Diagro, and friend Diagro, Fahujimu, na future na any guarantee. GMABC Fantasy League who's so common and new woody for code way na fatu EMZWC5 EMZWC5 sa code way fatu ho so ni bi EMZWC5 fatu ho the enti America cho se fatu ho no eni say minia when say Fantasy League no unim obobi el baby. But the hono oba a good day can a moody. But over here, GMABC Fantasy League, a Bushiani Bia, Minia, you stand the chance of winning cash 10,000 Ghana cedis. Yes, what to them are who fix it, your arrangement of a team, manager, players, Albertfield, and no man, GMA is giving you the opportunity to win 10,000 Ghana cedis cash. About 3 weeks ago, yes, I believe. And Abrantia will win the last one. Obaya, he had 10,000 Ghana cedis edition. He was a student, medical science student at K University. Obaya, he had 10,000 Pudu edition in him. Say one for Enko Bonohobra. And to me, John, don't just play Fantasy League with any other group. We are play the GMABC Fantasy League and stand a chance of winning 10,000 Ghana cedis. But your code no EMZWC5. EMZWC5. Na for who ever it's probably powered by YFM, ETV Ghana, and Happy 98.9 FM. Dave, you're a few minutes and son, Ebaba, I don't know, say if you want to still touch on the education bit, and I say quickly, yeah, end the conversation. Canada, Mohun Sensem, you know.
Canada, yeah, you know. Let me say it was long coming. There have been so many irregularities going on at the port, and people have spoken about it severally. Most of them were done by the same method I was telling you, where the president and his people think they are more powerful than the technical people doing the work. So when the bubble burst, they threw the more under the table. Okay? I think that the people who are mishandling the port. I mean, Canada Moore is retired. He shouldn't be there to even see this removal or his dismissal, if I may say. But the people who are corrupting the port, they take feed from the presidency. Look, we have seen a lot of things and reported a lot of things that have happened at the port there. If you talk about the La Bianca case, it's just one by minute part of the port's problem. The national security guys, BNI people who ravage the port every time to do what they will do for their personal interest, it's on record. They are all on record. Diversion of cargoes belonging to hard-working business people and all that. And they are putting all that on the footstep of Colonel Damois. Where is Amish Adao? Is he not the Commissioner General? What happens to him? Amish Adao, Reverend Amish Adao, is higher than Colonel Damois.
But in terms of the investigation which the OSP did, for which if you read the report states that Colonel Damois admitted
that what?
About the wrongdoing when it comes to the La Bianca case. He admitted. What? In terms of the issuance of those values that were given La Bianca.
Yes, but if you go into it, look, the issuance of value has been given La Bianca by the presidency.
How is the presidency involved in this?
Well, I mean, you may not understand, but
this is a port issue. So, Dave, how does the president come in or the presidency come in?
Look, on that fateful day, when investigations were going on about La Bianca, the vice president was there. Look, there are things that we have, you know,
to do what? The vice president was there to do what?
It will be another whole page of this La Bianca issue. It may come sometime later. But I'm saying that the presidency is heavily involved in the La Bianca case. If it is false, they should come and arrest me. And there are proofs. You understand? This Kenneth Damois that they said they have is being, well, the man is even retired. If a man is retired and is no longer a staff according to our laws, how do you dismiss that person? Somebody must rather be paying for keeping him there. And I'm saying that they are just throwing the man under the bus because, you know, they found a space to put his name in. What happened to those BNI boys, national security boys, who played major roles in the chief of staff's office, all those ones? What happened to them? So they should stop it. I mean, they should stop throwing dust in the eyes of the people.
Who played what role? Because the special prosecutor doesn't mention any of these national security boys. And you are not also mentioning any national security boy.
No,
you are only
I have mentioned names. If you follow my look, if you go into this La Bianca issue, I went into the La Bianca matter. Did anybody invite me? No. Because they don't want to know that. They know the truth already. They don't want to know it from me. Okay? And I'm saying that there are many, many of that. Look, Sammy, are we not hearing that? Have you seen the La Palm Royal Beach Hotel recently? Have you seen the state? That edifice there is for the government. Okay? Obviously, it's in a bad state now. Haven't we had a situation where the president gave 80 million tax waivers to his in-law? Did you not hear it? How much do we need to revamp La Palm? Are we not told that the Golden Tulip, in which government has interest, has been offloaded to Lebanese? How much do we need to put that thing back to a state class, what's the name?
First class.
First class hotel. So look, there's so much going wrong, and obviously the president can see because he's in the middle of it. Okay? And I'm not the one. Look, we say that once we can say. But as for the issue of Canada being removed, it's a mediocre, action taken by the president. He is neck deep in the entire corruption at the port and the La Bianca case. So they should stop throwing dust in the eyes of the public.
All right. Well, Dave, we would have to end the conversation here. I would thank you for making time. I was just going through the report while you were making the point, and I would like to thank our viewers.
I mean, it's today that you see people who are the corrupt ones pointing fingers at the judge. Look at, I thought we were going to even go into what President Mahama said about the court.
Yemfensi Hanope. Yanani ho. Na eba na enyumpa ene di share wo. Na happy sports. Yo, happy sports. And so get the sports ebro. Mo fidi na.